We're back and it's fixed. I had to restart my entire computer. But now I get to play! I'm so excited! I don't remember any of the characters' voices. um, I know Morgan was just myself. The main character tends to just be my normal voice. I don't care about High Roller, no offense. I wonder when... I know there was merch talked about.
I just got a notification that goes, new sign to your account. And it's the email that we used for the streaming account.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder, who put that in?
Let me... I'm getting rid of this not speedrunning tag. I don't care about it. Why do we have it?
Because you're not speedrunning.
I'm not, but this isn't a game you speedrun. You can just click through everything. I'm just playing standard.
That was probably from when Satira streamed Minecraft.
Probably. I haven't played in a while. We can have tutorials on. I can disable them if needed. I'm pretty sure I disabled tutorials when I played the very first Chapter 0. And I'm like, I can figure it out. And I did, but whatever. Okay, pink I'm pretty sure is Emma. First question's an easy one. Who's your senator? Mathings? Piece of shit still trying to lie to our faces. I don't think this is Emma! Mathings is our senator, man. What? Still? Shit! Hey, wake up! From the top, I guess. Ugh. What is your name? Ikari? Yeah. What year is it? 28? 86? What did he say last time? 2027? Maybe this stuff's finally working. Dog does know how to shake. You can go... Again in the head? One thing I said. One thing I asked. Anywhere but the head. Not my fault he's got a punchable face. So, have we calibrated yet or what? No. But we're as close as we're gonna get with equipment this old. You wanna get to the real questions, or does he need more softening up? I just said I wouldn't soften him up in the head. How about it? You still with us, Hound? You're gonna feel a migraine hit you like a tram in a few seconds. Do me a favor and hold on to the pain. Let go and the barbatocene will drop you like an anchor. Don't want you a vegetable, right? Yeah, that's the spirit. Knew you were a fighter. Question 1. Do you know why you're here? Because you were too spooked to do this over a line. I'm always the right amount of spooked, Red. Ooh, who are you? I'm gonna say that one. I'm going to react whenever there's a new character, which is going to be a lot. This guy's cool.
Yeah.
I like his scar. And his earrings. Oh, pretty. When I tell you there's heat, I mean it. I know. And I always listen. See? Breathable layers. God damn it. You laughed. Doesn't mean I conceded the point. You're lighter. You memorized the map. You kept it pretty vague, but I think I got the gist of it. You're that worried about a paper trail? Analytics. Proactive analytics. I forgot I can't read. Just one state contract for new trawling algorithms that can DN on an entire city blocks crumbs in less than an hour. Okay, I have to remember. So, terms. IoT. Internet of Things. Crumbs that you see where you've been. Oh, so it's like your digital footprint. It's crumbs, small packets of data containing your own unique identifying information throughout your day, blah blah blah. Okay. I can DN on an entire city's blocks crumbs in less than an hour. Didn't you read the financial section today? I'm more of a Sudoku gal. We can't all be as well read as Reinhard Diamani. It is working! I'm so happy! I had to restart my entire computer, Brianna. I was not fun to deal with. I'm sending you the links. Read them. And the rest of the news, too. Proposition 492 is gonna be on the ballot this year. You shouldn't vote on it blindly. For a guy who makes the majority of his living operating outside the law, you sure take your civic duties seriously. Information brokering isn't illegal. What people choose to do with my advice. Do you declare income for it on your own taxes? Sorry. I promise to take a look at what you've sent over. How can you be this calm? A chance like this doesn't come around. Well, ever. Frankly, I'm still surprised they were willing to put the funds it took to commission this thing. What do you think changed? Nothing ever changes in the lower wards, is what I would say if I was feeling dramatic. Heartbreak made organized crime look like a bunch of cowards hiding under rocks, is what I would say if I was feeling comedic. Don't joke about heartbreak before sending a woman off into the lower wards by herself. Because you're such a delicate flower in need of protection. How about you start feeling analytic and give me your real answers? Fine, in my humble opinion, the Rust made the first move. Demand for their products has gone up, so they set to work with their syringes, cleavers, and vans. Mobile shops hunting for product to fill the supply gap. Supply gap? You can't spit without it landing on a Vitruvian clinic. How is the biggest it's ever been? What mods aren't being printed to demand? It's replacement parts, not the mods that the Rust harvest. Vitruvian, how all the others aren't interested in helping you fix a faulty pump. They just want to sell you a whole new model. The Rust might not always be pretty to look at, but even law-abiding citizens will gladly swallow their distaste for a discount that steep. A lot of modders are veterans, not easy prey. Correct. Hence the Rust stockpiling weapons in response. The Bluebuds sensing escalation. But that's just my hypothesis. I ever get pulled into an alley and wake up missing a kidney, I'll call in a formal theory. We'll call it a formal theory. It's not like we're talking about a weapon of mass destruction. What makes the Blues think they can win a gang war with it? Maybe they found the right soldier to wield it. The ideal lingers in the air for a moment as I gaze out the window. Windows and neon and advertisements galore float up the pass like bubbles of air as we make our descent. Down into the beautiful city's scenic lower wards. How's this part go again? Through me, the way to the city of woe. Through me, the way to eternal dole. Through me, the way among the lost. Welcome to the underworld, Dante. Sometimes hot, sometimes misty, sometimes choking with poison. Always dark. That the official forecast? More accurate than whatever's on your phone. Between the skyscrapers, the generators, the turbines, and the canopy. Every city block's got its own climate down here. So last time we were in the canopy, I'm pretty sure. Really up high, because we were dealing with David's death and his murder. And he was very rich. I kind of want to read this ballot proposition I was sent earlier. With elections coming up, a number of measures related to infrastructure, public works funding will be on the ballot. Petition for city council, blah blah blah, public schooling. For the last several decades, all education has been handled through private institutions, typically associated with one or more, quote, corporate benefactors. If enough voters say aye to this petition, City Council will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing. Oh, so they don't have public schooling. Cool. Sometimes I learn more about this dystopian world and it makes me go insane. 'Cause customers first and students second. Several schools in the city that accept students at no cost of their parents, but these are reliant on government subsidies introduced in the potential for waste and corruption, generally seen as subpar environments for learning. Funding for Atlas Pillar rejuvenation projects. Voting on aye on this measure will direct City Council to fund the renovation and reinforcement of multiple Atlas pillars around the lower wards, paid for by a % increase in sales tax within city limits. Atlas pillars act as stabilizing points for the city's canopy, super infrastructure, and house all of the largest public transit elevators that allow for traffic to slow between canopy and street level. Generally viewed favorably, who acknowledge the necessary construction will be disrupted, but point to language in the proposition that guarantees easing of zoning restrictions around pillars is vital to reducing unemployment in the targeted regions. So they want to build more pillars to support the canopy, but it'll cause problems down in the lower wards. But also, more pillars will probably allow more people to go up in the city to get jobs. Okay. I am just going to repeat everything I read in my own words because it makes it easy for me to understand. Some number of the uptown districts have voiced skepticism about these economic benefits, but none have argued against the architectural reality of the canopy's need for additional structural reinforcement. Older Atlas pillars will be targeted for rejuvenation. It has yet to be disclosed, so don't know which ones. Property values in the lower wards can either skyrocket or even drop into the negative based on which pillars are rejuvenated, and the city is wary of disrupting the real estate market in the lower wards with rampant outsider-funded speculation. Proposition 493, renaming Atlas pillars to honor local community figures. I don't care if they renamed them. Nicknamed the pillars of community in the headlines. 493 seeks to rename Atlas pillars around the city after local leaders and national figures, replacing the current system where pillars are given numerical designations based on the streets they are built atop of. Few members of city council have spoken explicitly for or against the measure, but polls show general support among the citizenry, with some questions about how the new names will be chosen. Atlas was originally an internal name for the super infrastructure constructs, but leaked blueprints and contractor word of mouth spread the moniker, and it became rooted itself in the culture in the last years since, despite having what the mayor at the time reported described as private, an ominous ring to it. That's a weird note. Proposition 527, Commission of Report on Victims of Acid Snow. The acid snow incidents is prominently at the forefront of the public conscience following the Grey Fall documentary that premiered earlier this year. Underreported on, while the industrial accident did not create snow, it did not in fact add acid to the atmosphere. The film's eyewitness accounts of the scarring children received that early morning, nearly 2 decades ago, they played in what they thought was unseasonable snowfall, have spurred an public outcry. If it receives enough eyes, they will commission a full investigation into the victims of the incident, including assessments of damages. Critics on the proposition argue that after 20 years, few of the victims will still be residents of the city, assuming they can be found at all. Others point to the state lawsuit Gendu Chemicals settled 15 years ago as sufficient compensation for the victims, though as one of the conditions of that settlement, Gendu did not admit any fault or wrongdoing in the part or corporate leadership. Rust. The domestic criminal organization known as the Rust is more accurately described as a loose collection of smaller gangs, so known as sets, and racketeering operations that formed out of necessity rather than any particular shared value. Broad powers granted to the state and law enforcement to address civil unrest during the 60s meant that small to medium-sized criminal organizations could not survive on their own, as virtually all of their members could be detained indefinitely if one or more members was suspected of racketeering, under new laws that classified gang activity as terrorism. While Rust has evolved since its chaotic initial formation, the spirit of it lives on in highly diverse culture of Rust's component cells or pods. Law enforcement officials disagree on whether the Rust meets the definition of a criminal organization, as many argue that the gangs that make it up are capable of operating completely independently of one another. Some hypothesize that the Rust serves merely a shadow on the cave wall, intending to make smaller gangs. Patterns of violence seem like well-organized planning. As it stands, the Rust is known for its black market operations in illegal and illicit sourced mods, offering military-grade or foreign-produced mods to civilians. They are particularly known for regularly assaulting and ripping mods out of their victims for resale. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier with him. I'm forgetting his name already, but that's okay. I'll learn them. Historically, the Rust has been associated with elevated levels of gang violence, earning themselves a fearsome reputation that has, fortunately, limited their ability to assimilate themselves into other segments of society. However, people in V, harmonicae systems, I think my duck just scratched on my door. I'm busy, I'm sorry. However, people in V, harmonicae systems, the state, alleged that harmonicae, it's probably harmonicae, had on numerous occasions employed the rest as a kind of extra-legal mercenary force when pursuing aggressive market negotiations with their competitors. The case was ultimately settled out of court for an undisclosed penalty amount, but misinformation has persisted ever since, claiming that the rest has endured, despite its violent tendencies, due to being sheltered from consequences by corporations who contract the rest as deniable mercenaries. And then mods. Body modifications. These are basically anything from better eyes to prosthetics. Basically, it's just like body mods. I don't know. Yeah. Refer to cybernetic prosthetics, artificial implants, neural enhancements, or any combination of the above. Those were in the other ones, so... Profiles. Morgan. She's so pretty! I really like this outfit. Date of birth, December 26th. Blah blah blah. Criminal defense attorney. Likes power washers, lamb chops, prime numbers. Dislikes lectures, felt the violin. Plays blackjack, Texas Hold'em, CeeLo, mahjong, and e-card. Favorite flower? The funny looking red ones. Like Chorus radiata. Eggs, fried and runny. What is... Hold on, I'm Googling. What is, like, Chorus radiata? Oh, it's spider lilies! That tracks for her. That makes a lot of sense. I'm assuming that is Michaela, who is messaging. Yep. Hi, Michaela. It's Mike. Diamani. Every city block's got its own climate down here. 9 circles of fresh hell. If you get the reference, say something. Don't make me feel crazy for 5 minutes so you can feel smart for 5 seconds. OMG, Mahjong reference and I feel like people play Mahjong in 2025, Brianna. I don't think just because we played it in elementary school doesn't mean that. I want to play Mahjong again. Like real Mahjong, not like the stupid app ones. I don't remember how to play. The smog of lower wards lingers on your skin long after you make the climb back down. Ask Morgan, maybe I will ask her to play Mahjong. Do I want to play Mahjong with her? She does kind of like kill people. Okay. Get the house. I saluted. You can't see that though. Maybe one day I'll get a actual face cam. I do have a camera. I could set it up theoretically. I don't really want to because then I'd have to clean up my background a bunch and probably decorate it. But maybe one day. This place clings to you, unwanted, cloying attachment. But there's an honesty to all human interaction down here that makes it trivial for me to navigate. And it's got a nightlife with opportunities for someone with my particular interests. Sorry I couldn't get you anything else to work with. It was short notice. I know better than to bet against you by now. I know better than to bet against you by now, Red. But still, it's sweet of you to worry. But this is a surefire thing. Spoken like a true addict. I mean it. I'm here for business, not pleasure. I don't plan on leaving anything to chance. She's so cool! I love her! Be the cyber. Avoid the populated streets, turn away from brightly lit spots, follow the trail of graffiti and broken cameras, past food stands and steam vents, down the rabbit hole. It sounds more complicated than it actually is in practice. It's easy to end up on the wrong side of town as long as you're trying to. Reinhardt's map narrowed the search a lot more than I expected, but I'll be on my own from here on out. It's gotta be one of these buildings. So let's go over what I know. I'm looking for a base of operations for a mid-tier kind of pod. Rougher than a storefront, not as fortified as a headquarters. A location that makes customers feel safe, not trapped. Of course, if I just start knocking on doors, they'll probably find me with weapon drawn. So if I want to be smart about this, I better use all my senses. Oh, I love the... Oh, it's so cool. Scope out, check. Let's examine. The windows are all dark, like no one's home. But they're all shut, too, so it could be that they're just tinted. Alley's clear. Fire escape's still there, for the most part. Could pass for an alternate exit if need be. And that door looks sturdy enough to bounce a bullet off of. Someone's been renovating. Okay, so... potential second exit. Windows closed, could be tinted. And a sturdy door. Well, this place looks like shit. Looks more like a haunt, just dry enough for users to pass out in than anything. It's plenty inconspicuous, but a dealer of the level I'm looking for would be considered a made man. Respectable. I doubt they'd be willing to step over trash constantly to keep a low profile. You like the style? It's so cool. This game is such good style. So it's likely not this one. Need for... Does that say representation? I don't know. Oh, Ash left the call. That's okay. A bit cleaner than the other buildings around here. Could be someone spending money on upkeep. Maybe this one's just been torn down and rebuilt at the least. There are a couple bodies lingering outside of it. They don't exactly have that organized criminal associate edge. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of pods will pay civilians good money just to keep their eyes open. It's certainly dark. It's so pretty. Hi, Enbean. This game's such a cool game. It has such a good style. Bye, Kale. But there's a camera out front and it's not broken. Overall, it's probably just some mechanic garage that shuts down the power to save money at night. So it's the first one I looked at. Okay, might as well pull the trigger. Dingy, but not a shithole. Some secure features, but the paint's not too shiny. Goldilocks takes it. This is my best bet. But why? Why do I feel like I'm being watched? Ooh! Oh, they're cute! Just a little guy. Hey! Great acting. You supposed to be the lookout? Red Hood. What do you say? People come down here to be anonymous, or the closest thing to it in the modern day. It's considered poor etiquette to stare at anyone for more than a moment. It's a faux pas to make an effort to remember someone. Commenting on another's dress isn't a slap to the face, but it is odd. Go away. At least they can take direction. Whatever. A lookout being around just confirms that I've picked the right building. Time to try the door. What'll make them open up? Earlier she mentioned she can't go knocking around on every door, because that would make them suspicious. I don't want to give them money, though. Call would also be suspicious. I feel like money is the only correct option. But I feel like you need to... How do you... What happens if I hit money? Because, like... They don't know that I'm here. Well, there was a watch, but she walked away. I feel like knock. I'm going with knock. Usually these don't have too much of a consequence on the overall. No answer? Should I have tried knocking it in a pattern? Shave in a haircut? No, that would be silly. I have money. Actually, I have a dark card. That should have provoked a reaction. A grunt? Footsteps? Something? I place my hand against the door absent-mindedly, ready to move to plan B. And I feel movement. Locks being checked, perhaps a doorknob palmed. Anxiety and curiosity pit against one another by an onlooking greed. How do you enter a closed room? First, you try pushing. That doesn't work. Naturally, you... Forget it. I'll find some other... No need for master keys or any other trickery. If you know what you're doing, doors will open for you. Like magic. Ka-ching! The door's not the only thing that's been reinforced around here. This apartment building, motel? Whatever it used to be, someone's made a lot of effort to file it down. Hallways blocked off with chicken wire and stripped furniture, access panels ripped out, doors welded shut. They took a maze and ground it down to a one-way street. Or maybe a shooting gallery. With blaring musical accompaniment. Don't get any ideas. Got no vacancy. And here I thought I found my dream home, mister. Call me Trey. And too bad, we're closed this month. Wait, you're serious? You rent these out? Of course we do. This is a business. Right, and you, see a lot of demand? This is the lower wards, bitch. He sighs the word without emphasis, like a subconscious honorific. I'm not honored, but I can't find it within myself to be offended either. Tons of stray ducks who will pay top for a sight to lay low for a night or two. I can see why. This is the hallway. The rooms are clean. Sure. Look, the doors are heavy, the locks are all physical, and it's quiet. So this is a safe house for rent. Safe rooms for rent. But like I said, we're not open for business right now. Curious. Come on, up the stairs already. And no mask when we get up there. And curious, sir. A good mask is like a good pair of boots on the lower wards. Keeps you clean, keeps you moving, makes your journey a dozen times more comfortable. If you leave the house barefoot, you can expect to bring back something unsavory attached to you. It's not odd for him to be barefaced, but demanding that I not wear mine is... Seriously, stuff it in your pocket. Now. Okay. Won't be a problem. Good. Lose the gloves, too. So that's their game. This isn't a power move, it's insurance. If this place ever gets busted, evidence of my visit will be all over the place. They're giving their customers extra incentive to make sure this shithole remains a hidden gem. A reasonable idea on their part, but it doesn't change my answer. Refuse, refuse, refuse. That's not happening. Bitch. Whatever. Have fun explaining it to the boss why you can't follow basic instructions. That does sound fun. Watch it. You're a guest here. A guest? I'm a paying customer. And if you try to get me to remove any more articles of clothing, I'm leaving a scathing review. You haven't paid yet. Come on. Right behind you. Through here? Yeah. Hey, I'll get the door. Ooh! They're cool. I've seen, like, teasers of most of these characters so far. Howdy. Where the hell did you find her? Must have fallen out of the canopy like ripe as shit fruit. Because she didn't fall out of the damn sky, that'd mean Trey opened the door for her. Right, Trey? Thanks, come on, How hard is it to not open a goddamn door? Well, she has... Shut up. The others aren't fazed by his volume. This is normal. The big guy's always like this. But his outburst is giving me a moment to take in this scenic view. Brings a tear to the eye. You. Me. Who else? Hit that. A cigarette? It's laced with drugs. Or don't. I'd love an excuse to kick your ass back down those stairs. They think I'm a cop? They think I'm a cop, and cops can't use drugs when undercover. I could quote them exact law that invalidates this legal defense, but I gather that wouldn't. What? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Wouldn't assuage their concerns. Well, what's it gonna be? I don't want to take something that's laced. But from the sounds of it, like, I don't want to be kicked out either. From the sounds of it, her analysis is that it's going to be something that just confirms that I'm not a cop. This sucks. You know what? Sure, let's... Don't mind if I do. I love free shit. Hey! Damn it! Bitch, breathe! But you offered. Trey! Who the hell is this? This red bitch? You're trying to jinx us? She's a customer. I know she's a customer. We get customers every day of the goddamn year. Why do you have to bring her in here tonight? There we go. This is it. I found the place. Well? Creek, she's got... Look at me. Don't talk to Creek. Talk to me. She's got a dark card. Huh? I ran the cereal downstairs. Scanner got hot like a hand warmer trying to crunch it, so... It's legit, right? Dark card, huh? I nod. Hard not to start playing a little more conservatively once you know the stakes. Whatever the specifics of the leadership structure, they're all looking to this Creek right now. But I don't know his rhythm yet, so I can't exactly match it. For the moment, silence is golden. Yeah, but tonight, Creek? With all that other shit we're expected to shovel? Hey, shouldn't make talk like that in front of the customer. Customer. You'd think the word was old toothpaste the way he spat it out. Translation, outsider. Thanks, yeah, Miller, I know. All the more reason we should tell this bitch to get slagged. Look, she's here now, so why not take her money? Know what? I got a better idea. Apply it directly to the forehead. The loud one? Tanks is pressing a barrel directly into my forehead. Why not take her for all she's got? The metal feels cool on my skin. Reminds me of a stethoscope. Breathe in, and try not to sigh at the theatrics. Instead, I make eye contact with Creek. Hey now. You can put that away. He reholsters his firearm without so much as a click of the tongue. Mid-tiers, like I thought, they've got something approaching discipline. Mind the safety. Get screwed! So, we good? We're good, we're good. We are good, right, Creek? Threading a thin needle, lady. Gotta move. A lot of moving parts beneath the surface here. Give me a minute to clear my schedule for you. Make yourself at home in the meantime. Just don't hover, yeah? Of course. You won't even notice I'm here. Okay. I want to check the door first. That door is nearly as sturdy as the one out front, but a lot more slapped together. What was it originally? That a walk-in freezer or something? What? No, we had an agreement about hovering, yeah? Yeah. It's barred from this side. You doing inventory over here? Ouch. Must have caught you on the worst night of the quarter. Quarter? This ain't a meg operation, lady. We take our inventory daily. Torture. You're gonna suggest we put it all down on a spreadsheet? Get everyone to sign off every hour? We got a special name for anything with more than one signature on it. A cricket case. He's corrupting the CRICO acronym a lot, but his risk assessment isn't misguided. What's Crico? Paperwork bringing down more criminal organizations than guns ever will. Give a half-decent accountant one thread to pull on and they can rip apart the mafia in less than a business day. Hey, what creep say? Don't hover! It's only hovering if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you? If you were bothering me, you'd know it. Oh, I can't access my phone right now. You good, buddy? Looking a little sweaty. Well, it's just because I was exercising before you showed up. Uh-huh. Bitch, you don't believe me? How do you think we defend what's ours down here? I assumed the gun I was acquainted with just now played a role. Think we can afford to break the bank on bullets? It's easy to buy a gun, pulling the trigger's also easy. Like kissing it goodbye, it'll rat you out first chance it gets. An aversion to firearms would explain the relatively low fatalities for gang-related violence. The big names can afford to buy a new gun every week, but for everyone beneath them it comes down to crowbars, clubs, and knives. And mods. Well, I'm sure you all do very well in your fist fights. Fist fights is juvie. Sounds like recess shit. Sorry. Fisticuffs? Laugh it up! The first time you hear the sound of steel arm makes you... A steel arm makes caving in a skull and you'll get exactly how we operate. Right. Sorry. I feel like pestering is a bad idea, so I'm gonna remark on this first. Did I interrupt a game? What's your poison? 5 card, full blind, Monaco rules. Are those games? We just screw around with whatever we got to kill time, lady. You know your stuff. You ever play around here? Now then. The hell, you go slumming for card games? Now and then. Have I seen you at a game before? Maybe up by the 30s? Sorry, must have been some other redhead. Damn, thought I finally got my second chance at getting that beauty's contact. You practiced that one a lot? Practiced it a little. How's it working? Keep practicing. Okay, now I can pester you. What? Nothing. You're just kind of glaring at me. It's my job to glare at suspect bitches like... Tanks is just superstitious. Though I wouldn't call it a superstition until it stops keeping you alive. I am not! Did I pass a black cat on my way in or something? It's your clothes. Again? Didn't know your fine establishment had a dress code. It's not a code, it's just bad goddamn luck to wear red. Bad luck to see red, man. Same thing. Nah, you see the red hood, then you fear for your life. Cosplaying as her is weird, but it won't doom you. Great, it'll only doom us. I don't think I've heard this particular ghost story, boys. Really? You're blending in so well. The Red Rider Hood? Shinigami? Grim Reaper of the lower wards? Spot her on a misty night, end up dead by morning light. Come on, Creek, don't start with that shit when you don't even believe it. Don't have to believe it to have heard the rhyme. Never heard of Red Rider Hood? Little girl in the fog in a big red raincoat. Misted in the crossfire of a shootout between pigs and robbers, wanders the ward seeking revenge. No, never. Not even Uptowners knew this stuff. I have more things to read. Orca, organized criminal associate. Label widely used within law enforcement for individuals who are members of criminal organizations. Supplanting terminology used during the first half of the 21st century in accordance with changes to the organization of recruitment for and internal culture within organized crime. For example, an orca may also be referred to as a killer whale, or KW. A group of orcas may be called a pod, while a known gathering place to be labeled in the den. Crico. Racketeering. Combating Racketeer-Influenced Corrupt Criminal Organizations Act. Provides for increased law enforcement powers and impunity when investigating and prosecuting organized criminal charges. Crico Act allows for multiple prosecutors to link multiple individuals' charges of racketeering, contraband smuggling, or other smaller infractions into criminal conspiracy charges against the entirety of criminal organization. Much of the law is built off previous legislatures designed to assist prosecutors in fighting organized crime. The Crico Act is distinct in that it makes it clear the distinction between criminal organizations and corporations that may be operating in violation of the law, considered necessary to adapt to changes in the drug trafficking, gambling, and sex work industries. Before Crico Act, prosecutors would at a time seek and designate corporations engaging in aggressive market or cartel-like behavior as criminal organizations, arguing that their structure does not significantly differ from what one might call the mafia. Post-Crico, corporations with legal business charters registered with the state are effective immune to criminal conspiracy charges and are instead prosecuted through trade courts. Some of the more liberal-leaning members of the judicial system have argued that this emboldens certain aggressive corporate behaviors and complicates attempts to prosecute criminal organizations who made the same amount of their profits through legally registered and operating businesses. Others point to relatively higher penalties in the trade courts as sufficient deterrent for criminal activity. Blah blah blah. Okay. How to avoid Crico charges, easy 2086. Missed. Slang to shoot or to kill that originates in the bloody splay produced when a modern firearm projectile makes contact with living tissue. On that side could miss a crowd from 100 meters even if you weren't aiming. Meg. Meg is derogatory, hateful for mega corporations. Yeah. Tired of having to read anti-industrious sentiment on the net? Check out our Otter censor tools that replace harmful words like Meg with family-friendly alternatives like Job Creator or Patriot. That's I hate this world. I don't think calling mega corporations Meg. That's Patriot is specifically is what I'm. Yeah. We also got more profiles. Here's Trey. Occupation freelancer. Likes vending machines, skate parks, and ice chips. Dislikes rich kids, fried foods, cops. Loitering, 3 arrests, 0 convictions. Larceny, 2 arrests, 1 conviction. Truancy, no incidents on record. Tanks. Occupation, handyman. Likes parkour, spray paint, stainless steel. Dislikes beer cans, water stains, and cops. Assault, 2 arrests, no charges pressed. Grand theft, 2 arrests, 2 convictions. Incarceration, 18 months. Juvenile correctional campus. Miller, tradesman. likes horror films, bubblegum, terrariums. Dislikes bookies, gin, and cops. Vandalism, 4 arrests, 4 convictions. Extortion, 2 arrests, 0 convictions. Littering, no incidents. That's good! Don't litter. Creek. Entrepreneur. Likes making money and making friends. Dislikes doctors. Grand theft. Case dismissed due to lack of evidence. Extortion. Case dismissed due to witness recanting. Pronouns any. Oh, chill! You're gonna tell me you never heard of the Cyberpunk or the Little Lord Next. Guess I don't have a good ear for this kind of thing. Or maybe you're just not as smart as you think you are, says the grown man, sweating because of a ghost story. How about I take extra care not to walk under any ladders for the rest of the night and we'll call it even. Walk under any... Where would you even find it? Oh, did you mean stepladder? Now who's afraid? You look pale as a spit. You look pale as spit. Because for some reason, I just got the horrible feeling that I lost a bet. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to something else. Alright, come here. Pull up a chair. Let me ask you something before we get started. What was your first job? Waitress. Waitress. You remember this feeling? 9 p.m. Dinners filter out. Doors close at 10. You'll start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down. Yeah. I knew it was a reference to something. It is Ace Attorney. They also make the same reference in Chapter 1. I've never played Ace Attorney. I really need to. It's on my list. You'll start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down. And then some mouth breather comes in at 9:40 with big blank eyes, expecting you to find him a table. Yeah. Ronan will be overjoyed when I play. He's the one who's been telling me to play it. Yeah, asshole behavior. Not breaking any rules, can't arrest him, can't shoot the guy. Even if you wanted to. So, related note, you're here to buy. A paying customer, happy to have you. Just read the room, okay? Sure. And no haggling. Now, what are you here for? Well, can't be honest about that. Time to build a story. This creek seems less high-strung than the others. They have similar matching tattoos. I wonder if they all have it. I'll have to look closer. He must have a few years and a couple of promotions under his belt. Might be on the 3rd floor at the moment, but in spirit he's still on the street earning. Everyone's above him is more managerial positions. He's in between crowds, isolated. And he seemed entertained by my poke at the big guy. Putting that all together, I'm not actually here for myself. Truth is, I can't hear anything over the damn screen. I grab the remote sitting on the edge of the desk and turn off the screen. That's better. The hell you do that for? It was too loud. We like it loud. Screws with bugs and wires and cops. Are you a cop? Keeping it at that volume could damage your ears. You'd end up yelling all the time. Relax, Tanks. Cut her some slack. She's smoked enough of your shitty roll, too. I was gonna say fall over, but you seem sober. Me? You got chrome lung or something. I've just always had a very high tolerance for that kind of thrill. You can do a bunch of drugs and not even enjoy it? Shit, you must have been popular in school. Not exactly. But clearly I'm not invincible. I never talk about myself if I wasn't at least a little stoned. My bad, we usually pride ourselves in not giving a shit who our customers are. Thanks for making me the exception. Now, like I was saying, I'm actually here for someone else. My boss, to tell you the truth. That sucks. Does your regional manager want a made-to-order heart attack at his retirement party or something? You're not that far off. His son's turning 18 and he wants to party. An organic party. How's that supposed to mean? His face expression changed. Hell if I know. But a coworker let slip that I smoked a few times in college. So boss goes and hands me his dart card, slaps me on the rear, and sends me down here. Told me to get everything his son needed for the best graduation ever. That's rough. A pretty lady like yourself shouldn't be stuck running errands at this hour. Not in this part of the city. It's not safe. Speaking of which, Miller. Stand up. Raise your hands. I oblige, but the lanky one keeps staring at me, oddly looking me up and down. It's not complimentary. He's searching for something. See, normally I would never be this poor of a host to such a nice customer, but... Bosses, am I right? Yeah. Might have been real micromanaging lately. It's kind of becoming a problem. So we're taking a little more care around new faces. Tucked inside her jacket, around the left pocket. His eyes aren't modded. Did I give it away with my body language? Something you want to share with the class? Forgot I had that, maybe. Yeah, I have a knife on me. Should I have declared that on my papers? It would have been the polite thing to do, yeah. Sorry for the poor manners. But a pretty lady like me in this part of town. Guess I was just being careful around new faces. Alright. You're letting her keep it? I got you here to protect us. Have to wonder, though, why'd a high-power corporate mover shaker come in with... Bleh. Why'd a high-power corporate mover shaker come in person? Why come to us? Why not go across the skywalk over to the nearest Icaria-owned dispensary? Cagey tonight, aren't we, boys? The hell are they so suspicious for? And who are the Icaria? The name sounds vaguely familiar, but... Well, I can read between the lines. They're the competition. So if these blue bloods are being this cautious around paying customers, I can't shame them over it. I mean, sure, everyone knows the Icaria have taken the lion's share of the city. I just didn't realize they had monopoly, too. Hey, get it straight. The Icaria won't be on top anymore once we... Never mind. Can we not do business? No one said that. So what'll it be? Well, I don't want any of these kids choking on their own foam. Even if it'd be funny to watch. I figured I'd just buy a bunch of downers and maybe a handful of uppers. Let half of them get high on the off the atmosphere. Downers, huh? We've got the new titration of lime. Lasts for hours. Yeah, they can stir it with it into their watered-down beers. Wait, new titration? No one's gonna shit themselves, are they? No, not until the morning, at least. Alright, well, I can live with that. What have you got on the other end? Got plenty, as long as they don't mind hippos. Hypodermics. I feel like these baby shark types would get nervous around needles. Got anything they can inhale? Well, I've got a lot of nerve. Fast bump, high plateau, smooth ride down. Our best seller. Sounds great. Unfortunately, it's in high demand, so... I get that he's selling me drugs, but do you have to sell me drugs? Hey, it's not my card anyway. Charge it. Gladly. Tapping away at his tablet like this, he almost looks white collar. It checks out, right? The cereal's legit, so... Yeah, man. You already said that. It's encrypted. It's not meant to be a one-tap purchase. Dark card, the golden standard of an untraceable fund transfer among the criminal and financial elite. Your average citizen wouldn't recognize it as anything special. It looks like any other credit or debit card. Only reason I recognize it is because they got flashed all the time back at my apprenticeship. Mostly for drawing lines, but sometimes for purchasing. Hard to convert the funds back into cash, but if you want to buy or sell on the black market, you couldn't ask for better. So what the hell is going on? I'm dangling something very enticing bait right here. An amendable mark of spending money that's not her own. They should be salivating over me. Instead, they're practically x-raying me. Why? Ooh, katana. Interesting decor. Finally, someone notices. It's nice, right? Called cherry wood. Redid the paint myself with a finish I had imported. It is a nice piece of furniture, Creek. But I was referencing to your paperweight. Oh, yeah, that. You like it? Yeah. Sure. It has a certain rustic simplicity. Though it's not exactly gleaming. Have you considered giving it a polish? That'd be a crime. Oh? Polishing off the battle scars from a hard-won prize. Prize? It's not yours? Something I picked up on the job. Masculine voice, muffled, possibly gagged, and stifled as if pained. Seems like I'm not the only guest tonight. Really wish you'd left the music on, lady. Sorry, you say something? I completely spaced out just now. Didn't hear a word you just said. Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything. Guess you aren't so stupid. You can't even mind your own business. Speaking of my business, how are we looking? The card's still processing. Sorry about that. Guess it takes time to shake a wire through enough pinholes that even the almighty skate can't track it. Takes power too, apparently. Battery's plummeting. Dark card. Almost more trouble than it's worth. Definitely didn't do its previous owner any good. Before I palmed it off his corpse. Yeah, that... kinda what I expected. Your boss must be a careful guy, delegating you to come down here with this. Yeah, maybe. Not very smart, though. He had no idea what any of this shit costs. If I treated myself after I finish here, it's not like he'd ever know the difference. Good on you, ripping off the bastard. A woman after my own heart. There it is. Now I just needed 2 thumbs and a password for verification, and we're golden. There a problem? Yeah, is there a problem? No, no problem. Sorry, it's just something I heard. And what's that? That the Blue Buds had gotten something special in recently. Can't trust everything you hear out there. Or read. Or see. No, of course not. But, is it true? A no mask? Like the man said, you gotta be careful what stories you listen to. Come on, what could it even cost? A couple thousand? I wouldn't know, I'm no art appraiser. But I do know that it's rare. Fun fact, no means talent, but I don't think that translation does it justice. Less than a dozen people on the planet who can make them. What's so special about it? I mean, them, if they exist, which they don't, if you want a mask, you've already got one on your chin, lady. States puts up cameras, we put on masks. States add layered scans, we wear helmets. High-tech climbs higher, low-tech punches lower, back and forth, up the escalators. But a no-mask got tech that can't be answered. Scissors sharp enough to cut rock. Anti-facial recognition, fractalized active defense. Any camera, scanner, or ad just looks at that mask, they'll see a face. Within a face, within a face, within a face, until... fatal error. Forget hiding from cameras, searching for blind spots. With a no-mask, you can just walk down the busiest street in the city and brick every camera in half a kilometer. You know your stuff. Buyer beware. But if this mask could do half of what you think it could, anyone who got their hands on it wouldn't part with it easily. So, how much? More than you can afford, that's for sure. I don't know about that. I've got a pretty nice stock options. Maybe you do have money, that's not the issue. I can't sell it, it's already been spoken for. End of discussion. Well, sure, you can't sell something that's been spoken for. But things get misplaced all the time. Delivery carriers showing up at the wrong address, missing packages, end up in the backs of storage facilities. Merchandise falling off the back of proverbial truck. You weren't sent here on some errand. Shit! Oh, what is it? Take a long look, boys, 'cause you may never get another chance. We're breathing the same air as a genuine consultant. She's going to Meg spy? If I was, I couldn't exactly come out and say now, could I? Oh, shit! Is it really this easy? Yeah, that's real smart talk. Now give me one reason I shouldn't paint your brains onto the wall. Because I still haven't paid for my purchase. Definitely got the nerves of a consultant. They teach you that at some fancy uptown corpo school? Or was it something you were born with? Something I was born with? Probably. But believe it or not, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Honestly, always speeds up the negotiation. So, in the spirit of cooperation, why don't you start being honest too? How's that? You don't want my money, traceable or otherwise. The only reason you'd entertain a customer while in the middle of whatever bottleneck you're keeping behind that door is because I have something rare that you desperately need. Don't assume desperation or need. How about want? You want the dark card account itself, not its shitcoin currency it holds. And why is that? To steal from your bosses. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're the one stealing from us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have legitimate grounds for wage theft suit, but I don't care. Whether it's for running away, skimming off the top, or just as insurance. You want a wallet that I don't have eyes on. Since your tall friend hasn't enlisted me yet, it seems you're willing to barter for it. So? The card for the mask. Not even close. The card plus 2/4 worth of my salary, that's nearly... Nah, sister, you don't have the cash for this purchase. And it ain't the kind of thing you can get a loan from the bank for. I don't like it, but... Not cash, then. Might as well try it. What about information instead? I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it would have to be one hell of a piece of intel. I could give you heartbreak. What'd she say? Funny. That is funny. Heartbreak, the most famous anarcho, eh, anarcho-terrorist in the country. At some Meg's beck and call, upgraded to anarcho-terrorist now. Ugh. Lots of people were laughing very hard, having shorted the right stocks before each of his kills. Hold up, seriously? No, why do people buy this conspiracy shit so easily? I don't get the joke. Why would we want Heartbreak? To learn from him? Make an example of him? Hire him? You Blue Bloods have been fighting the rest. The Ikaria, the state, and everyone who wants a peace for decades. Yet, Heartbreak's gotten more notoriety than all of you combined in only a few months. There's really nothing you'd want to say to him? Nothing you'd want to ask him? If he was sitting right in front of you? The following scene contains loud noises, flashes of light, depictions of violence and gore. Hell of a bluff, I'll give you that. Thought it was worth a try. Sorry, just procrastinating. Have to go back to my superiors empty-handed. Nah, it was good. Good effort. I mean, I'm still interested in the Dark Card. It's just that mask is a death sentence crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until... sounds like you've got your own office politics to worry about. Getting pulled in every direction. I know the feeling. Well, that was a bunch of drama for nothing. She's gonna buy her what, Creek? Oh, I'm still buying. Not for some kid's party, obviously. Plan is we're going to spike the competition at this meet and greet, make the customer think we're drooling idiots. Mask was always a long shot, I was just personally curious. Curiosity can get you into trouble down here, at the bottom of the world. Don't worry. I like to think I know a thing or two about discretion. I can see that. Let's wrap this up then. Your password and your thumbs, please. Sure. Just take off my gloves here. Oh, yeah. I make a snap with my right hand as my left extends towards the desk. Viewer discretion advised! Teehee! Real quick, before I forget. Do you have a bag for all of this? Yeah, actually, got a few in this drawer. The hell?! Only need to distract him for a second. Yeah, the character designs are cool. I have a feeling they're not gonna be around for much longer, though. Oh, this is a cool frame. Less than one heartbeat. Did I tell him to mind the safety? Huh? Big one made a small noise when he looked down to see his own gun had blown fist-sized chunk out of his torso. She stole his gun! Oh, that's awesome! Have I ever mentioned that this game is so cool? Holy shit! He jumped up fast. I was expecting to blow his head off. Morgan's awesome. If you guys haven't seen Chapter 1, Chapter 0 and Chapter 1, I highly recommend it. From behind, a motion. A shape charging towards me. Spinning left, I draw my knife, exhale, and lower my shoulders. There. Oh, that's a cool... Those are cool. They're like taser thumb bracers. Chapter 1 was awesome! I really like all of the, like, random... Like, don't get me wrong, this would probably suck and you would totally zap your fingers in real life, but, like, the idea of that's... Oh! I'm really normal about this game. Kale, you haven't watched the previous chapters? To be fair, I never streamed Chapter 0, because I played it when it was a demo, and I expected it to be a lot shorter than it actually was. It was like 4 hours, and I was like, do I want to replay all of this so I can be on... It is free, yeah. Chapter 0 is free. I really need to get Ronan to play this game. I could play it right now, but I already know the story. I'd be... Yeah, definitely give them a positive review. This game is, like, genuinely top tier in my books. There's not much that beats it. Definitely not in, like, this genre. A loudly broadcast haymaker swinging in from his right. Bad instinct. Must have gotten used to those sparkers making people flinch. I step in, and his bicep smacks dully into my shoulder as I place my knife directly into his carotid. Yeah. Chapter 0 originally... The thing was, I played it before Chapter 1 was released, so it was technically Chapter 0 was labeled as a demo at that point. I learned after I played it that it in fact was not a demo. Yeah, I have a specific... I'll find it later. But because I played it early, I have a specific phone charm because of it. He's gripping onto that knife with all the strength he has left. Ooh, that'd be painful. Wait, is he really gonna try and pull it out? Ooh. Someone's been stabbed. What to do? When applying first aid to a puncture wound, removing the foreign object is not recommended, as this can greatly increase the rate of blood loss. Another bad instinct. Oxygen cut off from the brain, already losing vision. Red. And dropped with all the grace of a garbage bag hitting the bottom of the dumpster. So that just leaves... Hasn't moved a muscle. Newest member, weakest in the pack. Personally, I wouldn't have given the new guy guard duty, but hindsight's 20/20. The gun's double-barreled, 2 shots spent, and Miller has my knife in a literal death grip. I'll have to improvise for this last one. What the hell? Why not? She's so psychotic. I love her. Oh, shit! They'll come to think of it. How do you use this thing? Aim for the bleachers, I guess? Oh, fuck. Episode 2. His due. I'm so normal about this game. Barely got 3 centimeters into his neck. Must have hit a vertebrae and stopped dead. Still got the job done after a few whacks, but... Well, it was my first time with a sword. And I've never been very good at anything the first time. I've always needed lots of practice. Okay, the music should have deadened the sound of the gunfire. That gun was heavily modified. If it somehow still has its tags, it can't possibly be functioning properly. So I've got a window of opportunity. First things first, gloves back on. Very bold of her to do that without gloves on. Gosh, shit! Wow, someone's lively. You... Who the hell? Some kind of mod keeping him alive? A cruelty under his circumstances. I could hear that slug tear through his intestines apart. The pain alone should have knocked him out cold, but his fingers are limp. His eyes sharp. Paralyzed. There are rules, I thought! Blood's pooling fast. You've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes for what? Everything. You're no mega assassin, you're too talkative. Who sent you, Fox? Grey Lady? All that red shit of... You're the rest newest rabid dog, Caribou. It's cute how you all give each other nicknames. You're civilian? Where's the mask? Go to hell! You just looked right at the desk drawer. I thought you said you played poker. Need your keys. Civilian thief? Theft is victimless. It's robbery when violence is involved. So you're just out of your goddamn mind. I'm the last person you'll ever talk to, Creek. Your choice, but do you really want to be rude? It seemed like you could take it. The keys clink into a small safe and I pull up on the door to reveal... paperwork. Page after page of spreadsheets and diagrams and text. All printed in red. Is this important? So considerate. Nah, just throw it anywhere. Okay. I was joking! 3 minutes now. Sarcasm will cost you time if you don't have... There it is. A gleaming darkness at the back of the safe. So that's it. You're all of this, all of us. For that? Just for that? I get asked questions a lot. She's so cool! Do you feel better if I had killed you for a different reason? If I had a good reason for blowing a hole in your stomach? Would it have hurt any less? You've still got more than 2 minutes. Plenty of time. I could spin up whatever fairy tale you'd like to put you to bed. Yeah, definitely. I bring the mask to my face, and for a brief moment, the surface seems to writhe. Is it trying to adjust itself to me? It's supposed to make sense, you wanting a mask. Suppose it makes sense when you wanting a mask so bad. If I was as hideous as you on the inside, I wouldn't want to go barefaced either. Hit a nerve? Must be the worst kind of feeling, being seen. Seen by someone you can't even hurt anymore. Well, I see you. Heartbreak. Yeah, big bad, faceless heartbreak. Or just a dumbass punk not even I could make you out from. Don't flatter yourself. It's not that you're particularly perceptive. I just don't have anything to hide when a corpse is talking. First honest thing you've said. So what gives, HBK? You're clearly not an idealist. All the terrorism, rebellion theories out the window. You go around killing because your daddy smack you around? Your mommy not hug you enough? My father never laid a hand on me. My mother hugged me. A sufficient amount. So what the hell's your excuse? I don't make excuses. What the hell's wrong with you? Less than a minute now. I could spend that time making up a diagnosis if you'd like. Or do you prefer I just come over there and squeeze? How many? Another question straight out of the greatest hits. How can I put this? How many times have you eaten bread? Never got a gluten thing, bitch! Whatever. Point is, I'm not a collector. This is not my hobby. I don't keep count. There's no code. I do what I want as often as I want to. Do what thou wilt with the whole of the law. Is that it? Don't know what you're referencing. But from where you're sitting, do I really look like the law-abiding type? I bring the mask down to my face, and I feel it briefly writhe. Forget it. At least I know you deserve what's coming. I've heard a lot of empty threats in people's last moments, Creek. They're never that memorable. Told you that mask was a death sentence. That it was spoken for. They called in a huntsman from overseas, home turf. Huntsman can come anyone or go anywhere, kill anything. Supposed to come over and slaughter the rest. That mask was part of his payment. He'll be looking for it. Possession of 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of the law. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Finders keepers. Forget it! I don't need to scare you. Huntsman, hunter, too much meaning lost. Always thought better translation was pelt taker. He'll find you, flay you alive, wear your skin, then go and murder everyone you've ever loved. She laughs. What a face. Should have taken you off on dipping out early. Anything be dying staring at a face. Face like that. Morgan's so cool, I know! She's like so insane though. I think that's a part of... I love her. I've been trying to convince a friend to play this. Because I think he'd enjoy it. He's been very annoying and stubborn not to. I've played plenty of his games. I've asked him to play 2 games. One was in Stars in Time, one of them was this. He's played maybe 5 minutes of In Stars in Time. So, Huntsman, coming to get me. Nah, the dead and the dying will make for strong bluffers. You did the exact same thing with the exact same games. They're good games, dude. They're like... These are probably my 2 favorite games currently. Definitely In Stars in Time. I went insane. Aw, lucky. I have convinced several friends to play In Stars in Time and Of the Devil, so it's not the end of the world that this one friend is procrastinating. Especially since I've been procrastinating on some of the games he's been telling me to play. I've played Halo Reach. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2. He can't complain much. Nah, the dead and the dying make for strong bluffers. And I've seen more than a few of them try their hand at improv. Time to move. I need to scruff things up a bit more, make this look more like an orca shootout than... well, a visit from me. Sword was not worth the effort. Lesson learned, but now I have to remove it for this next part. His eyes. Can't tell the model from the outside, but I can make a strong educated guess at the price range. To back up any data, it can't be for more than once an hour. It can't be more often than once an hour. It'll be 10 o'clock soon. I'm gonna need something with some heft to it. Skull. Ooh! Sometimes this game is brutal. Ow! Well, the bat's definitely spent, but his eyes are no longer a problem. The sword is fine where it is. Not gonna tempt fate and risk nicking myself with it. This game is brutal, man. Weapons are inherently disposable. I can kill with anything. So I'd never bother to retrieve one from a dead man's grip. But might have need for a knife again shortly. So I'll be taking this back, Miller. I had to pry. Why is it that the dead are always grasping? That's all the burning issues addressed. I'm to take care of the chores. I need to remove my gloves to convince them I could use the dark card. That means I handled all the murder weapons with my bare hands. Obviously I'll need to wipe my prints off this gun and my knife. But I put my gloves on before opening Creek's safe and cracking Trey's skull. So what does that leave? Remember everything Morgan handled? Oh. Better try. The police don't miss fingerprints. If you're sure you've got everything, you're good to move on. Right? Focus. No mistakes. Oh, now I have to remember. Okay. The card. The dark card played its role as bait perfectly, even if it's the reason I'm going to have to go around wiping off prints. Never be able to pull funds off it, but I might be able to use it again if... It's stuck. Creek must have dropped it harder than I realized. Getting shot in the stomach doesn't help with handling delicate electronics. The gun, knife, sword, and card. Thank you! Now I am gonna risk taking a whole reader with me. Could have any number of pings and strings leading back to the manufacturer, or even the blue buds themselves. No, I'll wipe the dark card off and set the whole reader back on the desk. There may be more, though. Okay. That sounds correct. I can't think of much. For all anyone knows, Creek's pod mugged it off some slummer, and we're trying in vain to get beer money off of it. Cigarette was beforehand. Do we want to return the keys? The remote? That was beforehand as well, to turn off the thing. True! Saliva. That cigarette was in my mouth. Prints can be removed with a swipe of the sleeve, but saliva's... No choice, I'll have to take it with me and dispose of it out somewhere far away. Or smoke it down to nothing if I'm feeling masochistic. Tastes like microwave sand sprinkled in aluminum and artificial sweetener. Cigarettes do scatter particulates if forensics finds them, but can't match them to a source. Also what? All they'll know is that there was a horrible spliff in here at some point, and it would be pretty funny to see this drawn up as a quadruple homicide drug robbery with a payload of exactly one shitty blunt. Let's see, what else is here? The remote. The sword, definitely. The sword. I gripped the handle with both hands when I brought it down on his neck. Thinking back, I dragged its tip across the floor, didn't I? Shit, probably got Miller's blood on it. That's sloppy. And stupid. Why the hell did I... No, forget it. There's nothing I can do about it anyways. Fingerprints can be wiped, but there's no cleaning agent on Earth that can hide blood from a modern forensic team. You did it because you were aura farming. That's the only explanation. And it was awesome. I support it fully. And I'm not looking to do an encore performance of my reaction to those goddamn fickle bobbies. Might as well check. This is the remote I used to distract the big guy. Need to wipe my prints off of it, of course, but I should... Should I turn the music back off? No, it was playing when I first walked in. Best to preserve continuity. Besides, what was it he said? You like it loud? Screws with the bugs. He's right about that much. A little smoke screen never hurts. Right, the keys I took off him to open the safe. The Blue Bloods are going to find out I took the mask eventually, but I see no reason to give them any hints. On the off chance the police get here, I'd rather they not investigate this as a robbery. All's that to say, you can have these back, Creek. Usually it automatically advances once you get everything. But I'm not seeing anything more. It usually auto-advances if you have everything. I'm really worried that I'm missing something now. But I'm really not seeing anything. I could turn on auto find. I don't want to though. That's feels like cheating, despite it being an option. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Actually. Hello? I'm hitting control. I think I got everything. Okay. If you missed something, it's on you. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've played Chapter 0 and Chapter 1. I can. I'm just worried if I miss something. I can't exactly spend all night on this. Am I good here? Yeah, okay, this feels... The scene's been set. Yeah. It's a strange sensation, erasing your own presence. Sense of supremely private accomplishment. Like placing the last piece into a milk-white jigsaw puzzle. Then throwing it in the trash. It's not unpleasant, but I can't linger here any longer to savor it. Time to draw this to a close. This chapter started with this scene. Thank God for the mask. I can still tell it smells god-awful in here, but it's bearable. Rehydrated sweat and vomit, scents full of adrenaline and sickly heat. Unfiltered, I'd be at risk of getting sick. If it weren't for all of the blood. Right. What to do with you? Blindfolded, gagged, hands bound above him with plastic ties and linen wrappings. Beaten bloody and drugged. These syringes. I wanted him to stay conscious. Not very popular, are you? Still, you're not dead. And with these kind of injuries, you won't die soon. Not without a push. That might be the most charitable thing to do under these circumstances. Must have wished for death at least once during all this torture. Too bad. The bat that barred the door is now in splinters. Anyone walking in after me won't realize that this room was locked from the outside. This captive had somehow gotten his hands on a blade. There'd be nothing stopping him from stepping out of here and butchering his captors. The Blue Bloods will want someone to blame for all the deaths of four of their men. And unlike the police, they won't bother arresting an innocent man and putting him up on trial for the world to see. They'll wrap things up for me. Hold that for me. As for the gun, that's what all I did was tuck the gun into your waistband, pal. Oh. Okay, I can see how that would be distressing under the circumstances. Well, you can relax about it. It's not loaded. A few minutes from now, you're gonna wish it was. Out again? Already? Rest up while you can. When you wake up, you'll want to start running. Man! Sarah! Like I practiced. Irasahai. Irasahai. I didn't practice. I don't know how to pronounce that. Pardon? Sarah! Keep working on it, kid. This sound immediately made me think of Persona 5, and I don't know why. I haven't even played Persona 5. Didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of training your new employee. How's it working out? Ah, she's... It is she, right? Never worked this close with an ad before. She is unbearably forgiving, so I doubt you'll get sued. She's fine, good at cleaning, precise with her mixing, knows a hell of a lot of trivia. Popular with the younger crowd, I think. This is the place with the android bartender. They talk like I installed a new karaoke machine. Didn't know you had a younger crowd. Funny. What's that make you, Grandma? More of a learning curve to her than I was expecting. Did you cheap out on her bass installs? It's like I have to teach her everything. Trust me, there's nothing cheap about Sarah. But yes, she can take a minute when learning the ropes. Grin and bear it a little while longer. When she does find her footing, she'll have you worried about your job security in no time. Keep it up. I didn't have to do you the favor of hiring her, you know? Favor? Plenty of people out there would kill to work at an up-and-coming bespoke establishment like Karkintsugi. I think I hear them pounding at the door now. Technically, legally, you didn't hire anyone. I generously agreed to loan you my android during the hours when I have no use for it. These kind of arrangements aren't uncommon. Androids can, in theory, work 24 hours a day, indefinitely. But their users can't. Parents come home from work, people go to sleep, staff take holidays, offices close for the night. The end result of all that slack is a lot of androids spend a good portion of their operating time waiting around. So the more enterprising owners loan them out during that downtime, ideally to businesses with complimentary working hours. There are plenty of apps and HR softwares to help arrange it all, but Sarah's apprenticeship wasn't that on the books. After the fallout around David's death settled down, I came to realize exactly how shortchanged I was in our paralegal agreement. She's handy for research and route work, of course, but she barely sleeps, rarely eats, finishes paperwork at lightning speed. Spending more time finding shit to keep her busy than I was actually working. And of course I value my alone time. It was on one of those long walks of mine that I recalled Reynard was having trouble getting this bar up and running. Takes a village to keep the world's most advanced android busy. Yeah, alone, whatever. Sarah's the one who clocks in and clocks out, does the work, cleans the bathrooms. She's the employee. If she was an employee, you'd have to cover her benefits. Not in my current income bracket. I checked 3 times. Wait, you're not taking her paycheck, are you? It's not a paycheck. Don't lawyer me on this shit. Sarah can't earn a paycheck. She's not a person. She walks like a person, talks like a person, and works like a person. The Supreme Court disagrees. By 13-0. Yeah, well, Supreme courts have been wrong about that kind of thing before, haven't they? Do I hear a touche? Sarah, tell boss here what you spend your salary on. I've started purchasing cases of wine. What? Wait, that's what those deliveries were? As the wine appreciates, its resale value will increase. Especially if I can predict which vintages will be in high demand. Since I don't have a bank account, I can't earn interest in the traditional senses, but if I stay up to date on the sommelier reviews... So you'll resell the wine at a profit, and what will you do with that money? Stop it, you're making her depressed. I did also purchase a cache of sheet music. What for? Practice? You're muttering. Forget it, none of my business. Speaking of business, this place isn't exactly packed. Well, are you volunteering to help with that? There are lawyer bars, right? Right? Where all the lawyers go after trials? Kintsugi could be a lawyer bar. Yeah, those lawyer bars are usually close to the courthouse, though. Just don't. Everything's signed and paid. I can't think about what ifs on location anymore. This is the spot that was available, and I need a soda water with all this stress in my stomach. Sarah, tend bar. Ahem. What are you buying, stranger? What was that? Boss has been teaching me his barside manner. He says that his clientele expect a certain degree of maturity when you come here. And so you're using a deeper voice? Is it not working? Please let me know when you're ready to order. I must have searched for months to afford an underground real estate that wasn't flooded. Or already filled to the brim with server farms. Putting Sarah on cleaning duty was a good call. If any of the tiling in here starts to grime up, I could start feeling a subway station bathroom real fast. It's a well-stocked bar. I got tea and coffee too, if that's what you're into. Nice ambiance, soft lighting, warm on a chill night, and cool on a hot day. Now all that's left to do is wait for customers to stream in. Any day now. Did someone leave this behind after their lunch break? Could be trouble if they left anything work-related here. I'll help them out by throwing it in the trash after I'm done reading it. Serious debuts new fuel named in lawsuit. Dr. Sirius made a new helium-based fuel, one intended to replace hydrogen in combustion engines ranging from personal vehicles to full-size freighters. Only a few days later, they made headlines again when that new patent was leaked to the global net. They actually allowed the leak to occur. If you're not plugged into an outlet or running on battery, you're burning fuel. Batteries are useful, but they scale poorly. A battery-powered phone is light enough to be weightless in your pocket. battery-powered plane couldn't generate enough lift to get off the ground. There are no fossil fuels left. Well, sorry, were pumped dry years ago. At first to adapt, in a rather abrupt period of growing pains, hydrogen became the global standard for fueling long-distance machinery. Therein lies the problem. The plane I took to get here runs on hydrogen. It produces nothing but water vapor. Problem is that laborers fueling your plane before it took off had their fingers crossed the entire time, afraid that if the absolute grounding field failed, one static spark could blow the whole airport. What we've created is non-combustible. It's non-combustible. It can be ignited to generate force comparable or in some tests superior to the horsepower exhibited by hydrogen engines. It's expensive to distill. Steel wasn't profitable before the Bessemer process. Things panned out for the steel tycoons just fine. So it's expensive, but it'll eventually make profit, is what. That's essentially what Proteca has accused you of doing, isn't it? Leaking your data intentionally so that others around the world are free to start experimenting with it. Energy is limitless, it cannot be expended. By that virtue, there cannot be a scarcity of it. You will never have a monopoly of it, and since it is infinite, and the correct market price for it will, over a long time, enough time, trend to zero. Do you consider yourself a political person? No. Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? No. Do you believe science should be apolitical? Yes. So why is it that you are so frequently invoked as an example of liberal bias in the sciences? Science is not political, science is progress. Moving forward, learning more about our universe, deepening our understanding of its mechanics, and that process will never be conservative. Science doesn't move backwards. Calling all conservatives backwards is blah blah blah. It has nothing to do with class or power, money, or even majority rule. Science is reproducible, no miracles required, miracles are prohibited. If one person can do it, anyone can do it. And so science is inherently egalitarian. If someone feels that because of this science has a bias against them, then it speaks only to their own politics and not to the failings of the scientific community to log in. For a pop sci figurehead, Sirius sure keeps busy. Guess I don't have any evidence proving they aren't legitimately brilliant. But I can't take seriously anyone who guest stars on TV that much. Can't deny they seem to be making progress with the new kinds of fuels. New fuels, some of the only new fuels we've seen in decades. Could be decades longer before it's actually practical, but any new fuel has to be less volatile than hydrogen. Please don't throw that datapad out. Its owner might come back. Perish the thought. Though, now that you planted the idea into my head, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Cat? It's a lucky cat. Yeah. Did you say something, Adonai? No. I suddenly got the strong impression that there was something you wanted to say. I don't know what you're talking about. As you say. Nico? Wait, hold on. How do I customize your phone? I'm assuming. Oh! Nico! I have a bunch of profiles and things to look over still. Sarah. Occupation, paralegal, apprentice at Kintsugi. Likes split field diopter, Wing Chun, and folding clothes. Dislikes mops, fire alarms, and variety packs. Useless talent, I can do a full split, but is not useless. Fair quote, as you think, so shall you become. Confession, I tried to use Adonai's makeup and broke a lipstick. Diamani! Owner, operator, Kintsugi. Likes libraries, boating, fast learners. Dislikes marketing, solicitors, signing things. Collects ancient coins. Pet peeve, web pages that take too long to load. Don't mention speed at which Kintsugi site loads. Okay. Here's the helium fuel one. Then I have a lot of terms. No, translate to literally as ability. Classical mask dance drama. So those are the masks. Nirvana, Bureau of Narcotic Oversight. It's an illegal stimulant sold in black markets as a recreational drug under the street name Nirvana, sometimes shortened to Nerve. When taken as an inhalant, it is euphoric, with mild hallucinogenic properties. Possession of, production of, use of, or trafficking in it is a crime, even when the drug is legalized. Previous violations of narcotics laws are not granted amnesty. Bye-bye! Thanks for joining. Data pads. They're the electronics. What was that? Okay. Cyberpunk. Originally a term coined in the short science fiction story and later having grown into a genre of all its own, cyberpunk, or cyberpunk, historically has referred to counterculture centered around the themes of underdogs resisting powers of corporate or government forces through digital guerrilla warfare. Cyberpunk has become a 21st century man without a name, wander with their own law of rule. Blue Blood, internationally criminal organization most commonly known as Blue Bloods, originated in the early 21st century as offshoot of Eastern Hemisphere triads with subsumed dock workers. Ads, the robots, artificial intelligences. As you say. Think I'm ready to order? Yeah, it automatically went on. I'm pretty sure I missed something in the last one, because it always... Of course. Now I'll take this, Sarah. Go wipe the tables for a bit. No one has sat at them since I last cleaned them. Then pretend to clean them like a normal employee. Understood. What's got you so tense? Take a wild guess. Did Sarah ask for a raise? Be serious, Red. What happened last night? Your information was accurate, for the most part. A pod of mid-level blue bloods had it. Seemed like they were told to sit on it. Were they willing to sell? Nope. Laughed at my price, called me a spoiled Meg, kicked my butt out the door. They weren't curious where you got your information from? Honestly, no. They rushed me out of there pretty fast once they heard my offer. Were they expecting more company? I got the impression they had work to get back to. Okay, anything else I should know? No. Anything you want to ask me? How did you two meet? The tables. On my second day, you told me not to over-polish them in order to keep things lo-fi? Lo-fi. There we go. Is that an inappropriate question? You've lived in the city for decades, boss, but Ed and I didn't move until she started her apprenticeship at Masters and... You're gonna tell people my whole life story at every possible opportunity? I'll just shred my resume and start mailing you around instead. How we met, huh? Well, that story's not very good. I'll skip to the end and cut to the heart of our relationship, Sarah. I pay Reinhardt a finder's fee, and he tells me where I can get into high-stakes poker games. It's not a lie. Now you know my terrible secret. Disappointed? It's not illegal to gamble. I don't go on my phone and wager my paycheck stubs on point spreads. I gamble. And since I can't afford the entrance fees for one of those anonymous, masked ball, cult vibe, blimp casinos the rich go to, I count on your boss here to find me tables to play at. Guilty. So you traveled to the lower wards to gamble illegally. Truth be told, I've had my suspicions. Seeing you go out at such odd hours without so much as your phone, you're gonna turn me in. Irashihai. Irashihai. Or is it more firm? Irashihai. Two firm-looking men in fine-pressed black suits with shades tinted so dark they must need modded eyes to see from behind them. Despite the subtle color palette, they stand out. It's hard not to in clothes that look that expensive. Clothes with some kind of pin on them. Matching pins. More emphasis on raw. Oh, thank you. Think I just heard the delivery drones bumping around outside, Sarah. Did you check the back? Your vintages must have arrived. Go on. Please excuse me then. Afternoon then, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Mr. Diamani, pardon us for driving in without first making an appointment. No trouble at all. Still getting the place cleaned up. I'm awfully embarrassed that I failed to realize the property lay within your borders. If you'd come with me to the back, I'd be happy to settle whatever debt. We look like petty landlords to you. If you owed us a trip, you'd know it by now. My mistake. If you're here for information, I'll gladly wheel and deal. How about you? We're not here to shop either. We're here to look for Morgan. Well? That name ring any bells, Mr. Diamani? Right. Listen, boys, I'm not sure. Sorry. Had something blaring in my earbud. I'm a Morgan, Esquire specifically. How can I be of service? I mostly practice criminal defense, but I do offer a few other services. You two look corporate. I can recommend some good workplace attorneys. Got a business card somewhere. We're not interested in that. Of course not. Well, I'm flattered that you come all the way here to find me. Must have already tried the home office. Could set something up for... You need to come with us now, ma'am. Hey, I thought you said there was nothing I needed to know. Business stays over for me, gentlemen. Can this matter wait until tomorrow? Does it look like it can? Great manners, this one. Time sensitive then? I really have to reflect that. Send us the bill. We can afford it. Music to any lawyer's ears. So, who is we then? Think you're funny? Compared to you? Morgan, these fine gentlemen are from House Icaria. On occasion, information you went out of your way to collect in previous episodes will unlock new dialogues. It pays to stay informed. I'm familiar. You are? I've seen their name in the papers. Cha-ching! Plastering their name all over uptown opera houses and homes for the sick or whatever. Though I didn't recognize that name on those bluebirds who were cursing it last night, so maybe that's propaganda's working. Yeah, 'cause we found that paper in the practitioner's room, the one who was doing the autopsy. I'm forgetting her name, which is sad because she's like my favorite. She's my little phone charm. Is it? Sato? Maybe? Doesn't matter how generous they are at galas, they're still the richest, most powerful criminal organization in the city. Rich and powerful. Why bother with the criminal qualifier? Sorry, might I ask about the nature of this engagement? The situation is developing, Mr. Diamani. We appreciate your patience. It's not what you want to hear. So I gathered. Your presence has been requested at the family estate, ma'am. For business, or? The Icaria are always business. Shall we get you your coat? Such gentlemen. Knew those suits were weren't just for show. I can see myself out just fine, though. Did I? What's going on? Are you going somewhere? That's why they pay me the big bucks. These men are very athletic. Perhaps I should come with you. If they want to arm wrestle, you'll be the first to know. Call me when you get there, yeah? If I'm actually in danger, I won't even be conscious when I arrive, but I appreciate the thought. Boss? Who are those men, really? New clients for Morgan. Really. Hopefully. Hopefully? Yeah, hopefully, because if House Icaria puts her on retainer, she'll be able to buy as much wine as you like. But what do you mean by house? Alright, pay attention. If I'm going to lecture, might as well try to teach. Start with ice. You want a lot of it, but low surface area, so never use crushed, okay? Starts to melt into the liquor, waters the whole thing down. Understood. 1.5 ounces of vodka, and what do we look for in a good vodka? Smoothness. Correct. It's the mark of quality, making the bitter go down easy. So the nobility, you know what that is? Historically, the ruling class is enforced through economic or military might and maintained by familial relations. Juice of a full lime, look for a little spring and consistent color across the skin. Nobility, old money is another word for it, and the older it is, the slower it moves. Only so much wealth could accrue in one lifetime, collecting from serfs and selling horses. But the Industrial Revolution comes along, shows the world what real wealth acquisition looks like, then you get new money, which always dwarfs old money. Inflation and split inheritances shave away at any generational wealth that's liquid. Now, new money and old money, they don't like each other. Doesn't new money eventually become old money? If the old money can help it, no one ever becomes old money. Triple sec, 1 ounce. My family was new money. Tried to make the transition, join the right clubs, shake the right hands, make the right marriages, laugh at the bad jokes. Bad jokes can be entertaining in their own right. Not the kind of bad I'm talking about. I don't understand. That's alright. You shouldn't need to know. What do you mean, your family was new money? Times changed about 30 years ago. Recession, depression, civil unrest, political upheaval. Most people, they were so scared they could barely think about tomorrow, let alone next year. But a decent man's chaos is a cruel man's investment opportunity. So while everyone else was panic selling out of everything they could buy, to buy food and water, a certain type of personality was buying for pennies on the dollar, as it were. Give me a peel from that lime, as shallow as possible. Anyway, you see, it's just bitter. 1 ounce of gin. They were rough years, but they passed. At the end of it all, some were left standing with a lot more than they came in with. New money. A new kind of money. The new nobility. Neobility, if you're writing a think piece. Unabashed oligarchs and devoured barons. When the government of the world tried to re-privatize the industries they had taken over with emergency powers, they were there to snatch them. And they started at the bottom. Steel, fuel, grain, machine parts, medicine. Here enters House Icaria. And that's how they exited. They went into the Red Decade as the Icaria cartel. Drug smugglers, extortionists, thieves, and murderers. They came out as one of their richest, most respectable names in the country. Not that they actually stopped doing any of that thieving and murdering, mind you. But the top on tight, then shake. So they're a crime family, like the mob? This is the 21st century, kid. It's muddier than that. House Icaria is not literally one family, not even a race or creed. They're simply the strongest criminal organization in the city. On paper. But not in practice? Practice is what they're lacking. Haven't had to get their hands dirty, haven't had to maintain a presence in the lower wards in years. They make their profits from investments, blackmail, and more than a little insider trading. So, they're criminals, yes, but their muscle atrophied. Their muscles atrophied. Time for a taste test. Wow, that's not right at all. The hell did I forget? Boss? There must have been other criminal organizations 30 years ago. Others poised to take advantage of the changing times. Yeah. So what did the Icaria do to set themselves apart from the rest back then? Ugh, stupid, most important ingredient. Drop of grenadine. The Lady Maria. It's beautiful. This is nothing. We'd use a frosted glass, but if this was a customer, looks like a ruby in the right lighting. If you do end up helping Red work with the Icaria, don't let the warmth of their golden furnishings confuse you. All that glitters is cold. This game is so cool! Oh, it's so pretty! New ability, slang for nouveau rich, new money families that arose in the second half of the 21st century amid global economic turmoil. Their name carries negative connotation as it is meant to criticize the way said families supposedly style themselves as nobility, or even as a second estate that administers global power alongside the first governments and third corporations. How to marry into wealth. It was a quiet and uneventful drive in the back of the limousine. The privacy, at least, was nice. But with Abbott and Costello riding in the front, I had no way of getting information out of them, not even passively. So instead I spent the whole ride trying to play it out all the different ways this could go. I haven't liked any of them so far. I suppose I should have felt relief or gratitude when I pulled up outside an imposing skyscraper instead of an alley. Suppose that's a good sign no one's put a bag over my head or stuck a needle in my neck. Don't feel like celebrating. For all I know, they really don't have a clue about what I did in the lower ward last night. Gravity. It's so pretty. Everything about this game is gorgeous. But for some reason, they've placed their attention on me. And there's a little I hate more than unwanted advances. Also not a fan of being made to wait. Why am I sitting out here? Bye, Brianna! Thanks for joining me. Why am I just sitting out here? In here. We were too late. Only by a few. He filled the time slot. Already? Then we've got no chance of. Maybe this other meeting went well. Are we on hold, gentlemen? In the world's most expensive waiting room? Quiet! Ticket is glaring at me behind those lenses, but I'm more interested in the sweat glistening on his forehead. Somehow, of the three of us, I'm the most relaxed. This is becoming embarrassing. Can I at least take in the view while we're here? You can take photos if you'd like, so long as you're quiet. Really? No, your phone won't work in here. Go figure. The illusion isn't unimpressive, I guess. Windows into the heavens sparkling like raindrops across a puddle. Might even be appealing if it wasn't trying to be something it's not. You look up and see the hexagons above you in the lower wards too. Rich or poor, people just can't imagine themselves under an open sky anymore. Not even in their wildest dreams. That'd suck, actually. Go fish? If I weren't hyper aware of the flickering sky hanging over my head, this could make for a lovely watering hole. Well, those probably aren't even real fish down there. Literal children are capable of keeping goldfish alive, so of course 0.1%ers can't manage it. Maybe they'd spin it. When their pallid bodies float to the top because of some idiot raised the water temperature 2 degrees, they'd certainly be easy to scoop out. If you're an impatient, undignified idiot, you could argue that it's an effective way to fish. Is it trying too hard to look unconcerned if I sit down and start reading the news? Maybe. But my boredom outweighs my apprehension at the moment. Not my fault that they've failed to be sufficiently intimidating. PSS Proposition City ahead of next month's convention. Next month, the city will play host to one of the most competitive political conventions in recent memory, with Senator Mathings expected to face significant opposition from party outliers. That's what the start of the episode, the chapter started with, talking about mathings. Interesting. Before securing his nomination, while these broader nations eagerly anticipates the oncoming political circus, city officials are already under fire for supposed lack of sufficient convention security. The city has already approved for a record a high monthly budget for the police department, including fully unrestricted overtime for officers of all ranks, but a coalition of private security services, including White Adder, Fang, and Demico, has released a press statement urging city councils to consider contracting their services ahead of convention. Heartbreak was bad enough, now we're hearing that cops are dying in the lower wards. When are they going to say enough? We have the utmost respect for all first responders, none of us are blaming the hardworking police for all these failures. How could they succeed when political insiders insist that they try to apprehend criminals with one hand tied behind their backs? Our contracted forces have world-class training in crowd pacification, preemptive de-escalation, and enhanced interrogation tactics. And any of the subhuman scum who emphasize with anarchists won't dare to leave their mother's basements once we can get out of our boots on the ground. That's a guarantee. City Council declined to comment when reached out to. City population is expected to swell as the national political spotlight draws lobbyists, delegates, political action committees, and voters ahead of the 2-week-long process. 2 weeks for a convention when a nominee was decided 2 years ago. It's a joke, and we're the punchline. Footing the bill to pay cops and stand around outside parties full of thousands of do-nothing staffers and campaign managers. This article is represented to you in an advertisement-free thanks to contributions of our generous donators, including readers like you. Thank you. Please sign in to read the rest. Suppose it's less offensive than a bare advertisement or paywall. But why list your donors mid-article? Does this make my eyes glaze over? Whatever, I got the important part. City's hoping, putting pressure on the council to vote on supporting a candidate, right? Because it's nothing says the income he doesn't get a show. As much impact as fly on a windshield. Much more concern of those private security mercs. Bill's been trying to convince them the city needs more armed men playing on their phones to be truly safe. Everyone knows Mathings will be the candidate. It was decided years ago. The contested convention will just be him finding balance between how much. Why would what the? Did you see that fish? Also, I was wrong. Contested I was like, I don't know. I think it's getting to the point in the stream where my eyes are starting to, like, glaze over and the information's not processing as well as it was. Which happens, especially when I'm yapping a lot. He's willing to stomach against how many favors he feels like he's giving out. This country's already a circus without any bread. I think the least they can do is make the performances entertaining. What was that article about cops dying? And yeah, there's a fish above water. Why is it doing that? It's okay. The chapter just came out. I can't be that picky. Words anyway. Pretty heavy-handed just to make kind of thing up on pearl clutching and pitching yourself at the same time. Well, I've looked around at everything that caught my eye, and now I'm all out of ideas. Everything except... maybe they don't know we're here. I'm gonna try knocking. What are you— Hey! Before I get a chance, creaking oak draws my attention to the alternate entrance on the other side of the water. You're a bit intimidating, sir. She's so pretty. Stop staring, get a move on. That's the kind of man walking out of this place. He's waiting for me inside. Residential floors. So pretty. This was made by 4 people. This was made by 4 people. That's insane, dude. Pomp and circumstance, ceremony and ritual. For some reason I thought the Mafia, of all people, would be a little more efficient in their execution. A little more honest about what they are. Evidently not. Artifice with every glance, costumes and makeup abound. Is this disappointment? That even here, in the supposed bowels of the underworld, there's no escaping the etiquette of it all. She's the one. Doesn't look like much. Suddenly their posture stiffens even further. A true feat. Their necks subtly turn to a pair of doors in the back, each of them attuned to some signal I'm not receiving. Be still, the young master returns. So dramatic. You're late. Hold on. Wait. Young master, sir, Everyone slowed down. Okay, as soon as we found her, sir, traffic was... This was just some sassy lost child. Silence. Yes, sir. What time were you told to return by? 4 o'clock, sir. And what time is it now? Permission to check my phone. You're late. You were tasked with finding one woman and bringing her in here in a timely manner. Sir, you'll speak when I tell you to, and not one word further, or else I'll have your teeth removed. By way of curbside. Is this a prank? Am I being recorded? He who wishes to fight must count the costs. So says Sun Tzu. Please let this be a prank. And I don't think you fathom the cost of your tardiness has incurred. The lead up to my execution is some kind of kid reading from Art of War 1. I might just... What is the #1 rule in this family? Timeliness, sir. When money gets wasted, it can be replaced. But time only goes one way. It's always running out. The loss is permanent. Every second wasted is a scar on this house's face. Timeliness is next to godliness. So I say. Oh, God. So if you two ever waste my time, the house's time again, expect to be dragged through hell. I'm already there. Now both of you get out. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Useless. Useless. You. Red woman, you're being addressed. Forget pride, I just want this over with as fast as possible. You're the lawyer, correct? You may answer. As fast as possible? I am a lawyer. Morgan, criminal defense, mister. How should I address you? As all outsiders do, by my name. Makoto of House Ikaria. You, Morgan, criminal defense, have the great honor of being summoned before me. Don't bother bowing. Once you start, you'll end up prostrated all day, and we have important work to do. Right, out of abundance of respect for your time, Makoto. Should I let you know that I still have no idea what I'm doing here? Oh, I'll have them deal on a bed of nails or some such thing. Mrs. Dufens. Mrs., really? The house has need of your legal service. Oh. Would you give me a moment to clear my throat? I need to switch gears. An instant. Right then, so you want to hire me. One of your own is being slandered by multiple homicide charges. You would defend him. You want to hire me, and I'm flattered, Makoto, but did you pull my name out of a hat? Pick a random page in the phone book? I have many books on my phone, libraries full of esoteric knowledge spread across countless tombs. You will have to be more specific. Sorry, I misspoke. I mean, this is House Ikaria. You must keep a small army of lawyers on retainer. Surely any one of them would be happy to help you. True, we have lawyers. Competent ones, expensive ones, some who are both. But the best of them are all preoccupied. That's it? They're all just preoccupied? Preoccupied means busy. Thanks. But I'm still not sure how my name specifically was. Do you have a customer survey you want to fill out, Miss Dufens? You were recommended. What does it matter how it came about? Normally, it wouldn't. But when the client I'm recommended to is one of the richest, most well-connected families in the country, it gives me a pause. I don't have any friends in high places. Not anymore. Makes it hard to see this as a favor. Not when my employer doesn't even know my goddamn name. Of course, my apologies. No doubt you have other questions. Very well, I'll permit you to ask them. Such a gentleman. If I wasn't brought here because of what happened last night, then this is just another job. Meaning all of this is starting back at the bar, so I'll just spend their idea of a power move. Thank you for insisting that I get to visit your estate in person. It's beautiful here. An oasis of old-world sensibility amidst a desert of steel and neon eyesores, is what the house elders say. I've never seen anything like it. Matches your family's reputation for class. My family's reputation is power, not class. I take it a step further to guess you're renowned for violence rather than power, but that's a moot point. Violence can be classy. From how this house is talked about in the headlines I read on the drive over, the nature of your family's reputation seems to vary greatly depending on who you ask. Some think you've got half the gangs in the city under your control. Others think you've left all that behind and are no worse than any other corporate family. Are you expecting me to ask you what you think? What I think is I'll need some basic information if I'm to adequately defend your interests. We're financiers. You don't say. Lending, investing, taking over, buying out, the Ikaria Financial Group was founded nearly 2 centuries ago. Loaning funds and high risk, high reward, but as you can see, our results speak for themselves. Ikaria Financial Group? Fancy way of saying they got their start as mobsters, loan sharks. It's not impossible to get this rich with loan shark seeking a loan. But such savory work wouldn't get them into the ballrooms and boardrooms of tiers of society. You gotta rip people off with mortgages to do that. Is lending the house the only income? Is lending the house his only income stream? No. Though Aria, our holding company, the house controls any number of what a civilian like you might call legitimate enterprises. And yes, we did found the Renogen Pharmaceutical Corporation, but what's past is prologue. Renogen, that's their drug company. One of the biggest. You're saying you have no relation to Renogen presently? The company went public years ago, and Arya divested our shares not long after. We were given one seat on the board as a formality. That's the extent of it. Given? A family like this only takes. Why is he suddenly so humble? He doesn't know the meaning of the word if he's downplaying their pull with Renogen. Then the house must have a reason for wanting to distance himself from the company. You're being very modest, Makoto. And more than a little vague. It's only polite. It's unnecessary talking to your lawyer. You aren't my lawyer, Mrs. Dufens, but you will be working for me, so you'll have to become accustomed to putting your needs second. He's deflecting, and if he's trying to be subtle about it, he's not doing very well. I doubt it's possible for a company as big as Boot Heel as big a boot heel as Renogen has no relation to anything that happens in the city. But I'll drop it for now. I'm in no rush to wade into boardroom politics again anytime soon. Renogen is a global leader in pharmaceutical research, development, and distribution. A company that puts your health before any other concern. Our groundbreaking research into combating modern medical challenges has helped millions live happy, healthy lives, and we're proud to keep fighting that fight as we pursue our corporate goals. Put medicine in the cabinet of every home, improve patients' lives and their communities, minimize our environmental footprint through sustainability ventures, operate with dignity and pride in our ethics, deliver consistent, steady growth in our investors. Shortly after our founding, our researchers developed and metformin, our first orally ingested treatment for type 2 abnormal diabetes, freeing millions of adolescents suffering from its effects from being subjected to painful injections. Since then, we've gone to improve our formula, and constant dedication to perfecting our medicines has made a national leader in pharmaceutical biosimilars. We're obsessed with perfection and driven on purpose. We'll never stop searching for what the next step in the evolution of what it means to be healthy. The Ikaria Financial Group is a private investment company and one of the nation's most exclusive asset managers of 2086. We believe that investing should be accessible to anyone and that it's the best accompanied by tailoring their investment portfolio to their specific needs. Interested in working with us? He's blah blah blah. No, I'm not interested in working with you guys. But I have to, so. Makoto Ikaria. Heir apparent. Unemployed? Student. Likes biographies, shoji, and amber. Dislikes tardiness, tarnish, and group assignments. Favorite figures: Saladin, Sun Tzu, and Hannibal. Favorite phrase: Vae victis. Woe to the conquered. Relaxes by building and painting models. Oh, that's cool. I'm currently working on building a model for someone. It's really cool. It's insanely frustrating, though. Because it's not for me, it's not something that I'm particularly interested in. It's a cool model, but it has a bunch of like the inner workings of it as well, and I think I'd enjoy it a lot more if I liked cars. It's chill though. It's not gonna be finished before Christmas, I fear, but that's okay. I am excited to give it to him though. I also got a second one that, well, the first one was a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. So really cool car. It's a gift for my grandfather. And then I also got a similar built model by the same company, the F-14 Tomcat. And I'm excited to give it to the person who it's for, because I think they'll like it. The Tomcat one is really cool because it has two different like modes. You can move it for when it's in high speed mode. So I'm really hoping that the person enjoys building it, because I'm not building two. And they're a huge nerd for that kind of thing. Makoto, I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually. How long have you... I'm the only son of Raphael Ikaria and the only grandson of Daisuke Ikaria, CEO of the Ikaria Financial Group, patriarch of this family, and chairman of the house. I gathered that those titles are all one and the same. As one destined to succeed in the headship, commanding the family's servants is my responsibility and my birthright. So if one of them needs a lawyer, it falls to you. When our loyal men, women, or their families need help, it is my solemn duty to ensure that they are taken care of. And your age? What a boorish question! I knew that peasants raised outside our stratus had little understanding of the finer things, but I assumed that one with a law degree would be educated to know what is and isn't appropriate to discuss. Just because I am younger than some does not mean I am less capable of managing the people who work for me. Does it, men? Sir, no, sir. You definitely command their respect. That is no coincidence. One of the most frequently noted characteristics of great men who have remained great is loyalty to their subordinates. So says George S. Patton. That's so interesting. This is an important point. Perhaps another quote is called for. I don't think that's necessary. I'll grant you another. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, then will be practically useless. So says Sun Tzu. Back to back. Yes, a second quotation was called for in this instance, only to emphasize to you that no one stays useless to House Ikaria for very long. One way or another. I can probably check your age. Where is you, Makoto? No, it doesn't say a year. The current year's 86, right? I could have done the math, but it doesn't say the year. Unfortunate. This manor. I'll admit, I was a little taken back to step off an elevator into your enclosure out there. The gardens. Yes, our groundskeeper worked hard on them. Does the illusion of sky come from a live recording or somewhere else? Or is it generated programmatically? That'd take quite the equation. It is impressive, yes. As for how it works, I don't have the technical minutiae in front of me at the moment. That's okay. Of course it is. The lion does not concern him. The lion does not concern himself with the That's so funny. I love this game. It makes references to things. The lion does not concern himself with the exterior decorations of the sheep. This voice actually kind of hurts my voice. I've also been streaming for like almost 3 hours, talking non-stop, so that might also have to do with it. I do say I have to leave around like 4, and that means I have to end stream probably a bit earlier than that, because it's basically Christmas, and I have things to do with family. I really wish this came out on the 18th, but delays aren't bad. They let games be at their best when they can. It's your exterior and your decorations. What does it matter anyway? If you want this specific so badly, I'll have one of the servants pull you and put you in contact with a contracting firm. That's alright. Something tells me the consultation alone would break my bank account. I do appreciate the warm welcome, Makoto, of House Ikaria, really. But legal consultations are usually a bit more private than this. Are you certain we need the peanut gallery? Let it not be said House Ikaria is not accommodating of its guests. We're more than capable of compensating for this nut allergy you allude to. That's so sweet of you. But do all these guards really need to be present for this conversation? If you're referring to the additional security, it can't be helped. Circumstances being what they are. Circumstances? And if you're referring to my retainers in general, then I suggest you step back into the garden and take a deep breath. Clearly, the city's fumes do not agree with your constitution. You must be lightheaded if you think you're going to be worthy of to hold a one-on-one audience with the next head of this illustrious house. He's a prodigy, to be this insufferable at such a young age. Thanks for indulging in my curiosity so graciously, Makoto. Conquer the stingy through generosity. So says Buddha. Correct. Perhaps your education is not quite as deficient as I feared. But I should make it clear that in this case I was using the quote to subtly imply that you are stingy with your own graciousness. Got it. Yep. Shall we move on? I believe you mentioned a homicide. Multiple homicides. Tell me more. My head of security was arrested by the police last night at the lower wards. Oh, so that's who we framed. Oh, this is going to be lovely. They found him brutally beaten, drugged, and tortured. And instead of bringing him straight to a hospital, they arrested him for murder. He's been framed, and you must prove his innocence. I like this style, it's funny. Is there something wrong with your voice? Is this that peanut allergy you mentioned? No, I just lost my train of thought for a second there. I'm not used to my luck changing this fast. One of the richest families in the city wants to pay me to prove a man's innocent for a crime I framed him for? Right then, might I ask why he was found in the lower wards? I get the impression that Ikaria and territory is generally positioned more vertically. This whole city is our territory. It's true our presence is felt more strongly in some areas than others. They captured him early yesterday. He was ambushed by cowards and dragged down to that stain of a neighborhood to be tortured senselessly. Well, he was tortured, I can attest to that much. I don't believe in senseless violence. There's always a purpose, and it's usually staring you in the face. People just don't like making eye contact. Do you have any idea why he was taken, or by whom? It was the Blue Bloods. They made no effort to hide it. And a worthy opponent, I might call that commendable, but knowing them, they're just too stupid to value deniability. I'm sure. And I'm sure there's no love lost between your groups, but kidnapping and torturing? It's beyond the pale, I agree. And the police are even worse. I expect no help from those incompetent fools, but these charges they're making, they're utterly ridiculous. Of course they are. But don't worry, I'm confident that to think they want to pin 5 murders on him? Okay. I don't think that was 5. Because there was Creek. There was Miller. There was Tanks and there was Trey. That's 4. Five? Did you say 5? Yes, 5! It's absurd! I can only take credit for 4 bodies. Acting so high and mighty, so fronted, so eager to blame us for the death of one of their officers. A dead cop. Is this what those mercs were advertising themselves with? What do you mean, one of their officers? Was there a UC or... No, they made the ridiculous claim that he killed some uniform while resisting arrest. As if a member of our house would fear prison. I should have never dared to think I got lucky here. These circumstances found very complex, Makoto, and the police take the death of one of their own very seriously. What makes you so certain of this man's innocence? Because this man's name is Sasuke Ikaria, the Hound. Didn't Sir Creek mention a hound coming after us? Specifically using those words? I've known him all my life. All 3-4 years of it. There's no individual more honorable, more devoted, more trustworthy, and not once have I ever known him to be violent, impulsive. He didn't do this. I know he didn't do this, but proving that is your job. About that. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, Makoto. But you will, if for no other reason than because I shall pay you more than you're customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more. Not everything's a question of money. Yes, your meaning is taken. It needn't be silver and gold. You'll have no complaints with your compensation. The favor of House Ikaria can go a long way in this city. As can our wrath. I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't find it funny, even coming from a kid. However, the state thinks whoever killed those 4 blue bloods also killed a cop. Can't afford to sit this hand out. We'll go over every centimeter of that building. One wrong move, one hair out of place. If I lose here, I lose. Period. But if I win, throwing an Ikaria-sized wallet out of the pot before it's all upside. I understand, Makoto of House Ikaria. I'll take Sasuke's case. You say that as if we were ever in doubt. You say that as if we were ever in doubt. Now, true prodigy. But you might be right. Maybe it never was. I chose to put that gun into Sasuke's hand when I could have just plunged that knife into his temple. Maybe the line drawn from that moment to the razor edge I'm walking right now is perfectly straight. A line drawn from one point to another is always perfectly straight. A better metaphor would be the bullet's trajectory. For all the talk of wind resistance and breathing patterns and Coriolis effect and chaos theory, can't exactly act surprised when your shot lands right where the crosshairs were pointing. Morgan's my last name, by the way, before you start writing any checks. You should have enunciated. Hey there, boss. Of course I'm fine. What did you think was gonna happen? Yeah, all good news. I've got quite the paycheck coming my way. Maybe bad news for you if you get a large crowd tonight. Yeah, tell Sarah to meet me at the police station. At the police station address I'm about to send. I've got work for her to do. Will be quite a paycheck indeed waiting for me, assuming I can win. But can I afford to accept it? Ugh. Hey. Are there any of those jokes around the office about your clients being connected to organized crime true? Haha, what? Is this some kind of honeypot? Trying to get a grasp on something. Now I know you're baiting me. World's easiest, that's what she said, layup. Still basket that shit, though I don't give a fuck. Why do you make everything so hard? Come on. Like, come on, Freckles. Low-hanging fruit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously. Why don't you ask me about the mafia shit, though? I'm working on a case for Karia, whom I assume you've heard of. Definitely. Under circumstances that are probably vulgar. Absolutely. Which you'd be happy to brag about to me anytime. But I'm not well positioned to turn down the job outright. So I'd like to know whether they'll be resistant about parting ways afterward. Why? Do you not like getting paid lots of money? I don't like being chained. Fair enough. So you're like, just asking for my advice. The oral loss is incredible. Not gonna attempt to parse that. I doubt you ever could. My generation's sense of humor is practically impregnable. It's a very basic non sequitur, auntie. It just wasn't funny. Not even! A non sequitur would be, what's the charge? That's just getting back on topic. The charge is homicide. 5 counts. Meh. You're probably fine. All this stuff you hear about mobsters being clingy with their lawyers. It's 'cause they don't want anyone who's been through their underwear drawers running around telling tales. Whatever poor fucker they pinned multiple homicides on, it's obviously not anyone important. I don't think he was framed. Not by his own people. Pinned as in stuck with. Like a chore. Powerful people. Mob or no. If they get lawyers it's for tax evasion and conspiracy charges. Dirty work's left to the pawns. And the whole point of a pawn is you don't have to think twice about trading them off. Alright. I guess I know the rumors are true then. You uncovered my cool fucking secret. Listen. Actors, singers, celebs. They all like expensive things and being the center of attention. Mobsters have money to burn and want the cologne of legitimacy. Everyone wants what they can't have. Okay, chill, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Great looking Gatsby ass. I still pine for thee, motherfucker. What? All I'm saying is there's mutually beneficial arrangements to be made between the rich and the famous, and the rich and the infamous. So you bet your ass I was in those rooms, negotiating appearances fees and taking my 30%. 30%? You really are shameless. That's what she said. Alright. Thanks as always for the sage counsel. Hey, if you're really feeling grateful, do me a solid and call your rents. They say you never hear from you. And I know you can't be that busy. If you're bored enough to talk to me, they're the ones who are busy. Obviously, I wasn't sure what would happen after I left that crime scene. Master is lawyer to the rich and famous, semi-retired. Likes waterfalls, manicures, macadamia nuts. Dislikes getting ghosted by my adorable goddaughter. Drinks cosmopolitan double. Collects favors, friends in high places. Luck SSR on the first pull. And I wasn't sure what I'd find walking in here to speak to my client. But I definitely wouldn't have bet the next time I saw this man alive. He'd actually look worse. So scared. Did you not hear me? I said I'm your lawyer. Oh, I heard you. I'm just not interested in wasting my breath responding. I'm sorry, is there a misunderstanding here? Not at all. I understand exactly what you are. You and all your Your companion is staring at me very intently. Sarah, blink. You're embarrassing me in front of the Yakuza. That's a very dated word. You'd really prefer I call you an orca? I'd prefer you give up and leave. What are you talking? I'm sure they told you I've been softened up. That they'd broken me and I was ready to sign whatever you put in front of me. Sorry to disappoint you. But the Hound of Icaria doesn't heal. Cool. Sasuke, I'm gonna repeat myself plainly. And slowly, because you clearly have multiple head injuries. I am not a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Ah. Right, then. Very good. Thank you for coming. I apologize, I misspoke. Just now? I'd misspeak too if I'd lost as much blood as you. Morgan Esquire, I'll be representing you from here on out. Sasuke of House Icaria. Sarah, paralegal and bartender. You're very young to have 2 jobs, or tend to bar. Well, it's only part-time. Alright. So tell us, Sasuke, how's Icaria? What's your routine? You look very fit. But what? Are you asking if do you not have me on file? Sorry, which firm are you from? DDD, MPM. I'm in private practice. You mean you're not a mob lawyer? No, but please don't hold it against me. Everyone has to start the path of corruption somewhere. There are serious risks involved in representing a man with a background against charges like these. It's very sweet of you to... They say I killed a cop, miss. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I'm not fallen so low that I'd sully the house's name by dragging a civilian into... Makoto thought differently. The young master, you've seen him? How is he? Where is he? Is he unharmed? He was sitting pretty atop a literal throne surrounded by armed guards last I checked. Thank you for that. Nobody's told me anything, and if the young master had spoken on this matter, I wouldn't go against judgment. But I do hope you understand what you're getting into. I'm already in it, Sasuke. How well I understand what I'm in is something I think you'd be able to help with. Very well. What do you want to know? Sasuke, as far as all I know about you is your first and last name. It's a very important last name, but I take your meaning. And in truth, the first thing you should know is that I'm not worthy of it. Why? You're disqualified due to pre-existing conditions? I was born Sasuke Hayakawa, fourth son of a distant branch family. The only reason I bear the name Icaria is because I was adopted into the main house as an infant, in exchange for lifelong service to the main family. Sounds like a great deal. Lifelong? How did you serve the Icaria as an infant? There are various tax benefits if you have exactly 2 children. Don't be absurd. I am what you would call a bodyguard. From the time I was able to walk, I was trained to be a service to the house by protecting the heir with all my life. From the time you were able to walk, there's a lot of demand for toddler bodyguards. All that's ever been asked for me is I stand in the right place at the right time. You mean like in family photographs? Like in front of a blade. Even a child can manage that. The house has given me everything I've ever had and taught me everything I've ever known. What meager service can I offer in return means nothing compared to the debt I owe them. You view your relationship with your family as a transaction. It is not something so cold, girl. It's a matter of loyalty. Right. So, if you were standing before a judge and they asked you your name and occupation, you would say, "My name is Sasuke Ikaria, and I am an eternal servant for a living." I would say my name is Sasuke Ikaria, and I work as the head personal security for the Ikaria financial group. And what does that entail exactly? I'm the young master's bodyguard, and I lead all of his security teams. Nice to properly meet you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I'm Sarah, paralegal and bartender, part-time. Yes, I believe you already mentioned that. Seems like we're all doing it twice. Well, thank you for your paralegal services, Sarah. And here I had the impression you had no sense of humor. What do you mean? It seems in this particular instance, Adonai, it was you who misidentified his proper manners as being sarcastic. Glad we've all broken the ice. Profiles, Sosuke. Head personnel, security, Ikaria group. Likes whetstones, paperbacks, and matcha. Dislikes opera, wasabi, and insects. Bad taste. I love insects. Favorite author, Alexandra Dumas. Cafe Americano. Non-work related messages will be blocked. Ah, that's sad. You don't have any, like, personal life? Makoto told me all this started because you were taken captive yesterday. What happened? It was 2 p.m. Young Master just finished a meeting with VIP in Crane Tower, floor 108. 2 p.m.? He wasn't in school? I'll ask that you refrain from mocking the young master in my presence. He is a child, anyone can see that. But you've no idea the pressures that have been placed on him. Whatever. Whatever my client wants. As I was saying, it was just after 2 p.m. Me and the rest of my team escorted him to the elevators along our planned exit route. Our lift stopped suddenly in between floors 61 and 62. That was when I made a mistake. I had a bad feeling. I thought it was best to get Makoto to the ground floor as soon as possible. So I forced the elevator door open, crawled out, and pulled him out after me. But just as he got out, the elevator started up again, separating us from the rest of the guard. It was a trap. A 50-50 one. Staying wasn't safe either. If they could stop the elevator, it's not a stretch to think they could stop it too. Could drop it too. Just lost the coin flip one when he decided to exit. Yes, Sarah, it was a trap. Floors 60 through 70 were undergoing heavy retrofitting. The other elevators weren't responding. Comms were jammed. I've reviewed the entire building's blueprints beforehand. Not very useful information, obviously, for a floor undergoing renovations. But I knew that there was a construction elevator we could get to on the other side of the tower. I attacked fast, and there was no time I could doubt myself, and I did something unforgivable. You left the kid. I picked him up over my shoulder. Oh, well, that sounds like fun. As for giving me everything the young master does for the sake of his name's dignity, and I... kids are tougher than you think. I think he'll get over it. So you escorted him to the service elevator. I take it that's when things... Yes, I'm sorry, but I only remember a few vague details about what happened next, but I'll tell you what little I can. After I activated the lift to assailants... Yeah, Tank and... Who's the other one? Miller? Yeah, Tank and Miller. Two assailants emerged from under a tarped doorway at 7 o'clock. The tall one thin. Tall was around 190 centimeters. His weight, I'd say 100 kilograms with the mods. Thin was maybe 175, but slouched, modded as well, but what I saw looked stripped down, so he couldn't have been heavier than 70 kilo. He had needle guns, slow to fire, and slow to take effect. A memorable choice. Taller one shot first, jerked his arm when he pulled the trigger. Bad habit, usually favored by street slinger punks who used to compensate kickback of jailbroken zippers. Might as well have been aiming at the ceiling. Thin lines up his shot perfectly, laser sight dialed in on the young master's left trapezoid. I shift into a horse rider stance that deflects the needle with my weapon. The lift doors open behind me just as another shooter steps forward at my 3 o'clock. So I thought, but all they had was a laser pointer. Literally a cheap trick. And that is Trey. But it worked. I heard a click from 8 o'clock, turn my neck, feel a weight punch into my deltoid, a dullish kind of pain for an instant. Realized I'm already going numb, and this is Creek, obviously. I realize I'm already going numb, and that's when I squeeze. Squeeze? He's talking about his mods. So, I've always described it. Others say they flex, or pull, or hold. I squeeze. A key to Type 2 external thoracic boosters. Some burst strength and pain-killing capabilities. In short, it's reflex enhancer. Make 1 second feel like 15 in hindsight. It makes it feel like you ran a marathon during those 15 seconds once the kickback gets you. But I digress some. I moved. Got Makoto into the elevator and wrenched the door shut myself. Taking 3 more needles to the back in the process. I remember saliva pooling on my lip, and then cold concrete scratching my cheek. Alright, Sasuke. So you were guarding Makoto, and these men laid a trap, targeted him with tranks, failed. Then they take you instead? Yes, to my great shame. You were outnumbered and ambushed. You still managed to protect Makoto. What's there to be ashamed of? That I didn't see it coming. You're saying this happened before? Dozens of attempts in the past year, some headed off in the early stages, some sidestepped entirely, some stopped with force. I knew... Oh, that was cool. His on edge and all... my hair's up in the same exact style that he has currently. The little half up, half down. I think my ponytail's a bit longer than what his looks like, but... Sorry, I got distracted. I knew their tactics, I knew our vulnerabilities, yet I still failed. Sasuke, that is not incorrect. Hadn't I? Am I wrong? Shouldn't a bodyguard get at least 1 shot off before being taken down? Shot? What do you mean shot? You were not carrying a firearm? No one on the team has had guns. How's that? None of us on the security team had firearms with us. But you're a gangster. I'm a head personnel of security for the Akira financial group. Walking into an allied group's property, armed to the teeth, insults their hospitality. It makes the house look insecure, or worse, impotent. And I'm not a security expert, but I do think there's some gray area between armed to the teeth and empty-handed. I mean, didn't you just say you deflected their attacks? I was not defenseless just because I wasn't carrying a gun. No? I had my sword. Oh! So lame. So cool! You walk around town with, what, a samurai sword? You just assume it's a katana? Is it? Yes. It's the one that we used. It is a signifier of my position within the house and shows that I am acting as representative of it. Is it ceremonial, then? No, it's quite sharp. I can attest to that. Though it's probably in terrible condition by now, seeing how the city's police manhandle everything else they touch. Speaking of which, perhaps we should move on to the night's main events. They tried for Makoto, got you instead, and took you to the lower wards. Why? I've been wondering that myself. Aren't you essentially worthless? As a hostage, she means. I know that. Thinking back, I was surprised myself to wake up at all, let alone in captivity. But it seems they had questions they wanted to ask me. What do you remember? Whatever they used on me, I can't remember some things, but how much of it was real, what order it happened in, it's all... Just say whatever comes to mind. It can be anything. Sights, smells, voices. There are no wrong answers. I was bound, my wrists bound above my head. I love when they change the color scheme of the characters. I don't know the rhyme or reason to it, but it just makes me happy. Something about it is like, mwah, amazing. Tied to something that smelled like iron, rattled like old iron, tiles beneath my feet, some kind of bathroom or decontamination area. Good guess. They asked me questions. I said things, loose lips being drunk for the first time again. But I'm confident that other vulgarities was all incoherent. Guess there were shocks, the taste of blood. I must have bit my tongue during the spasms. There were beatings, of course. I wouldn't have guessed. Adonai, do you need corrective licenses? Sarcasm is just how I grieve a lost opportunity, Sarah. Lost opportunity? Yeah, it's a damn shame. From what I can see of it, a pretty face like yours would go a long way with the jury if it wasn't pulverized. Fair. Honestly. You're ridiculous. Is he blushing? Oh, is he blushing? My voice is starting to die. I do have water, and I have been drinking it. If you hear random pauses, it's because I'm drinking. I tried not to take too long, though. I agree about his face, Adonai, but I don't believe it is only his strong feet. Let us move on. Really? Well, in that case... How did your captivity end? Do you recall escaping? I was blindfolded the entire time, but my ears weren't boxed so bad. There was a door that squeaked and whined, so I knew when someone was coming or going. One voice asked questions, mostly. It was light. Another voice grunted when he hit me. Heavy. Other voices came and went, and then eventually, there was talk. Through the door. I heard they were all talking to someone else. A new voice? Was it high-pitched, or low, loud, or soft? It doesn't matter. What's important is that it belonged to someone new. Someone besides you and the dead who was there last night. Did you make out any parts of their conversation? No, not a word. But there was a loud noise, gunshots followed by shouting and ugly sounds. And then, a hollow pain in my skull as I lost consciousness again. When I came to, I had something in my hand. In my hands. Something sharp. I didn't even think to ask what it was or where it came from. Just started working at the bindings, rushed and clumsy. Poked myself in the process. But I cut them loose and then took the gouge out. The blindfold was so tight, I cut it rather than try and... The damn things must have acted as bandage, because when I took it off, given the light and the pain, I thought my head was split open. Took me a long time to stand up. Felt like I could lie on that cold, disgusting floor forever. It just... Something was poking me, something tucked into my waistband. The gun. The gun. Imagine my surprise. Checked the safety. The chamber reflexively only saw 2 spent slugs. I was too tired to be confused, so I just walked out that squeaky door and into red. Just red. And then I was blinking at an IV, handcuffed to a stretcher in an ambulance, some cop reading me my rights, saying that I killed 5 people. No, wait. Some judge or official said that later. When I woke up in the ambulance, they said it was a cop killer. Make some strong language. I don't understand. You were held captive, interrogated, tortured, but then you woke up armed and you were able to escape? Cops didn't ask me any questions, and I wouldn't have answered if they had. It's been nearly a full day, and I'm just now saying it aloud for the first time. It truly sounds absurd. This is your world, Sasuke, not mine. Do you have any theories on what happened? Only 2 possibilities come to mind. First scenario, 1 or more of my captors wanted to kill me, but needed an excuse to do so, so let me escape. They gave me a knife and an unloaded gun, wait for me to stumble out so they can miss me to be done with. But the plan doesn't work. Somehow I limp out of that room, shoot, cut, stab, kill them all. That would be quite a feat considering the condition you say you were in. Yes, a tale for the ages. But it's not impossible. It's not possible. Why isn't it possible? Even if he had the motive and they were stupid enough to give him the opportunity, he was still lacking. Bullets. In the brief I read, 2 people were shot to death. I'm sure you're highly qualified, Sasuke, but I doubt you can fire a gun without bullets. No, I cannot. As I said, the gun I woke up with had already fired both its shots. So if you tell the police that the gun wasn't loaded, would it clear Sasuke's name for the 2 murders? There's no proof the gun was already empty by the time he got his hands on it. She's right. That gun was some kind of jailbroken mag's rail. The only residue it would leave behind is static. So long as my prints are on it, that's all the evidence they need to claim I fired it. How about that second possibility, then? Second possibility, someone walked into that building, killed my captors, and tried to frame me for it. That sounds like a lunacy. We've already eliminated the other possibility. Insane trumps impossible. Like it or not, this bad Samaritan theory is our best shot. What is it? I'm just surprised you believe me. You haven't even asked if I did it. I never ask. It helps that I can usually tell. A wise policy for the world you're setting foot into. Not as if it makes any difference here when I don't know if I'm guilty. You were drugged and beaten. You're still injured even now. And we just reasoned that you couldn't have killed your captors without help. What makes you think you might still be guilty? 'Cause I've killed before? Pale spark flickers at the back of my mind. My index finger raises slightly, my lips part. Was I expecting this, stepping into the criminal underworld? Looking forward to it? The rare opportunity to speak frankly with someone else who's... You mean... Yes, I was in the military. Okay. I've taken lives many times. That doesn't make you a murderer. Soldiers are given orders. I've killed people whether or not a superior asked me to doesn't change the fact. But soldiers... Are you a soldier, Sarah? No? So drop it. She's good at following orders. It can take years to acquire that skill. I imagine it comes easy for androids. Yes, I suppose that's... Wait, that's an android? Did you miss the glowing barcode? And ignore my self-introduction? Look, I'm tired. I thought those were highlights or something? I don't know. Did my haircut catch your eye? You have a discerning taste. You see, each strand is actually... Was there something you wanted to say, Sasuke? I've taken lives before, so I know how I feel afterwards. Thin. And how do you feel right now? Right now I feel... what is it? You remember something? Yes, after I stepped out that door, I said I saw red, but I do remember one other sensation. I remember the feeling of gripping my sword. That brief you read it listed all the charges, all the causes of death. The fifth man, the cop they say I killed. How did I die? Good question. Reyes! 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 Let's go! Let's do. Oh, I love her. Reyes, other than Morgan, is probably my favorite. How to step through the back with a sword skewered like a piece of goddamn meat. And you would have gotten the balls to ask us to carry him to a hospital? I don't think that's quite how I phrased the request. I've been... London! We got the gang back together. Oh, I love them both. I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to play back what you said? Not right now, Sparky. Reyes, she's just doing her job. It's not like she's asking. Oh, save the lecture, gray hair. Gray? Come on, my hair isn't... It's graying, maybe. Yeah, you got a couple of strands there, buddy. Did you have a couple strands in the last chapter? I don't remember. How much time has passed? In case I hadn't made it clear, I've never liked you, Morgan. Aw, you're breaking my heart. I hadn't noticed. But I never took you for a mob lawyer. Whatever my client's association might be. He's a cop killer! Innocent until proven guilty isn't a phrase I coined myself, detective. It's actually somewhat important. Oh, don't worry about that. Proving won't take us long at all. Do you always take pride in rushing your investigations? Seems like it. All seen the same intake file by now. Yes, my client was in bad shape when he was arrested, but his wounds were treated on a medical transport. And somehow, in between arriving at the station and his booking, all his wounds were reopened, and some of them had multiplied. Tell me if you can, great detective. How will we ever solve the mystery of the reappearing fractured skull? Client was being moved between floors. He struggled trying to escape. And then he fell down the stairs. Really? Was there a lawnmower waiting at the bottom? Look, we're all adults here. So let's just say it. Your coworkers kicked the shit out of him. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I want you to uphold the law. For some reason, I thought you cared about that. Police badge isn't a time machine. By the time we took custody, he was already... She's right, Tiger. What's done is done. No, you've got a snowball's chance of hell proving your client was assaulted when police custody. And you'll never get charges brought against the officers who did it. So try asking something doable. Don't go away giving my best tricks. The door in the face tactic is already fragile. I want him to see a doctor. You've got to be shitting me. That's a blooded KW in there. With the military grade mods, he's not living in this building. Shoot. They mentioned KW is slang for something. And I'm not remembering exactly what. Orca. Yeah, KW. Medical records. Sasuke Ikaria was apprehended at the scene of the crime and placed in medical transport. Injuries noted at the time, blood from various sources across the anterior front of the body, numerous broken in bones, hand as if it was from impacting a hard surface, slight laceration, found internal bleeding through the torso and skull, bruising and rope burns both wrists as if bound, numerous bruises on the anterior side of the body. Others, blood across the top feet and pant leg, largest wound found on the crown of the skull, back of the head, near the top. At the time of booking, numerous additional injuries were noted, including bruised left eye, busted lip, broken blah blah blah, blunt trauma, side of the head. When or where these additional injuries were sustained is not noted. So yeah. London. Occupation, homicide detective, first class. Likes duct tape, mascara, and oak. Dislikes parking lots, ties, and honeydew. Best at finding new restaurants. Accommodations, none displayed at his workstation. Wardrobe, more expensive than it looks. Reyes, homicide detective, third class. Likes sneakers, volcanoes, and the Paralympics. Dislikes scalpers, hoarders, and Nice? I don't know what that is. Nice. Favorite TV, civil engineering documents, shampoo, don't know. Conditioner's more important. Undefeated at volleyball. She does look like a volleyball player. He's not leaving this building. But we could have a doctor brought here and give him the chance to take a hostage. He's not the 99 man, Reyes. He can't break his cuffs. Don't say 99 man. You don't know what it means. You're too old. How about a medic who can't be taken hostage? A medical aid? A medical ad? Sure, great. Let's see if we can't negotiate his premium lower while we're at it. Is that a refusal, Detective Reyes? Oh, I didn't say no, did I? Great. He also needs protective detail. Lady, I swear to... Counselor. Protective details are comprised of off-duty cops. I don't think that'll be the outcome you're looking for. No. If my client is left unattended one more night, he's likely to be declared unfit to stand trial when he shows up to court with his head caved in. An outcome I genuinely believe you're not looking for either. We could keep him here. What, in the interrogation room? Counselor's quarters. Table can't be moved, but if you slide the chair out of the way, the floor's not actually that hard. How do you even know that? Given what other lodgings he's had in the last 24 hours, I don't think your client will mind. So if Detective Reyes and Detective London take shifts keeping watch... Now we're keeping watch? It is the Homicide Department's counseling's office. You think I give a shit what happens to that son of a bitch? You think I wouldn't walk in there myself and... You wouldn't. What? It's not in your nature. What in the hell is that supposed to mean? Either have it, or you don't. Trust me, if I had the chance to take a swing at that son of a bitch... Yeah, you're already called him that. Piece of shit, a bastard, a killer. But unlike every other cop I walked past to get in here, you've yet to call Sasuke an animal. So what? What the hell does that matter? It's the only thing that matters. I've got the outsider's perspective, so I know. Your average human can do anything to anyone, so long as they're not a person. Whatever. Think what you want, creep. So as long as that's the only request, we should be able to... I need to get into a crime scene as soon as possible. You've gotta be... What, like tonight? He's not rushing more than anyone else, Sunshine. Everyone up the line has been raring to go on this. Now that Sasuke's actually got a lawyer. Well, maybe if that son of a bitch hasn't clammed up all day, we wouldn't... She said it again. Whatever, pick then, counselor. You can bully us into guard duty or escort duty, but we can't do both. I need both. You'll have to split up. But I can help with that. Or rather, Sarah can. I can? Of course you can. You can go treat Sasuke. I'm not trained in... Oh, I love this bitch. She's pretending she doesn't remember being registered as my medical ad. Yes, I would never forget that unforgettable experience. But I've never done first aid before. Well, watch a tutorial first. Use lots of sanitizer. Just hand her some bandages and she'll get Sasuke looking good as new in no time. Then you can plop her in front of the door and even 20 crooked cops working together couldn't get her to budge. That much is certainly accurate. I have a strong core, and so if I focus and lower my center of gravity... Thanks for the sales pitch, but it doesn't mean shit. The crime scene is in the lower wards. If you think after what happened last night, any cop with a pulse would go down there without their partner. It's okay, Sunshine. I'll take her down there. Is everyone else in here huffing Nirvana? London, it's in blue blood territory. Blue blood territory outskirts, really. I'm running out of time. I have to leave in 10-15 minutes, apparently. Which means I need to end stream in, like, 5 to 8 minutes. They lost a whole pod. They'll be swarming the place. Can't go down there without backup. Backup, huh? You know, Mac from Contraband. Skinny guy? Kind of a perv? Yeah, he's skinny. Look, he's got crime scene analysis sweeps going over that place with a fine comb right now. Drones, probes, the works. They'll have eyes on us before we get within 5 minutes of the place. Whatever. Just keep in contact for once. Hope you're being generously compensated, Eve. Selling your soul to the mob. It'd be a shame if you didn't at least get a good price. Hey, you coming, Blinkers? Gotta find where they stored that med kits in this dusty old piece of... Go on. I'll be right behind you, Detective. Sorry about that. She's still new to all this, really. Not old like me. She does seem to be on edge. More so than usual. It's her first time using a fellow officer. I think she's taking it pretty hard. Maybe even personally? Did they know each other? Right. You gather up all your things. I'll go bring us up a ride. Great. Thanks for all the help, Detective. You're a lifesaver. This is one occasion where I wouldn't have had any trouble finding the place. Really didn't take you that long to patch him up, huh? Now we just wait here the whole night? That clock runs pretty slow. If you're not doing anything else, Detective, might you be interested in answering some questions? Okay. We're changing scene. This is a good place to end. As much as I want to keep playing, I unfortunately have things to do, and my voice is starting to die. So I'm going to be able to open my thing. Let's check the terms first. 99 man. The 99 man, or a 99 man, refers to a theoretical state of being in which a human has replaced as much of their body with... well, thereby becoming someone who is 99% machine and technically still a human. Interesting. Save game. And that's gonna be the end of stream, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I know I did. I love this game, if you guys can't tell. Oh, it's so... I've seen this photo before. That does not mean I don't. Man, it's so cool. This game's art style is, like, unparalleled, in my opinion. Okay. Thank y'all for joining. Hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. I'll see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.